Hello everyone and welcome back to the Under Pressure Armoury tournament. We did have a bit of technical difficulties with the stream there, but we believe everything should be back under control now. I, once again, am Pi, and with me is Cytogast.
Yep, here we are with, this is Losers Round 8?
Yep. We are in round 8 of the losers bracket, and we will have Resillyence, who we did see on stream a few rounds ago, up against Splash with a capital L.
Right, I was watching Resillyence earlier. I haven't seen anything from Splash, but Resillyence really showed synergy among each other, even being here. They're still a really strong team, and I can't wait to see what they do next.
And we are back to the single comp after the counter picks and the 3 comps that we saw in the winners finals, and we are already getting into it. We are on Rainmaker on Eeltail. We do have a crab on both teams, neither with the Splash. We have the V-Pro on Resillyence and the V-Dualies on Splash. And the pop has... Yeah, the pop has already happened, and Splash has taken down 2 on Resillyence, and Splash are going right ahead and pushing forward. They've got 3 down, and they were going already up to take the checkpoint. That's very quick.
Really quick movement from Splash here.
They've got the crab out. They've taken the Rainmaker again, trying to go through the beams. The Rainmaker gets splatted, but they've already popped it once again.
Oh, really good points they scored here. Interesting crab v crab comp. Comps we got going on here.
Yeah, on Eeltail Rainmaker, it's rare to see without the crabs, but now both teams have a crab, albeit not the usual one we see on the Splash. Speaking of Splash, they have been stopped here by Resillyence. Resillyence is able to pop the Rainmaker, get some picks, and let the Rainmaker reset to mid as they push the fight back up to there.
Of course, and now they're pushing their bridge. They get a trade on bridge. Splash has been stopped here. They cannot push forward any longer.
Yeah, Resillyence are showing resilience. They have popped the Rainmaker. They are pushing forward onto Splash's bridge. We see the V-Pro pushing ahead, even onto the plat, try to make a path for the Rainmaker, but the Rainmaker does get snuck up on by the Carbon Deco.
Still good potential from this push here. They're going to have to be very careful, though, about the specials that Splash might pull out here.
Yeah, but they go 3 down, and Splash still has a crab ready. The Bamboozler also has special ready, and Splash has stopped the push the Resillyence has been going for, and they have control of the area around the Rainmaker now.
The Octo Shark is shut down by Splash.
Yep, we see the Killer Whale coming out, and picking up the Rainmaker is the Bamboozler. There's a crab down low, not the most ideal position for it, but it is still able to put pressure, and they take out 3 players, leaving just the ZNF Charger. They're trying to bring the Rainmaker up from below, and they bring it just about to where they had before getting splatted.
Interesting play there. It was a 2v2 for a second there, and they're gonna hard push right. Really, really good points.
Yeah, pushing hard right can be viable sometimes. In this case, it didn't work out, and Resilient. Well, actually, it did allow them to get down to only 10 remaining, and so that did increase their lead. That helps them. Now, Resillyence is showing resilience once again, and they are stopping the push, getting the Rainmaker back to mid, and trying to get another push of their own going, and trying to be more successful this time.
Right, as we've seen in this tournament, 3 down on Resillyence here. Splash might go in for another.
Yeah, even going down 3, they were able to get splashdown 3, and so the Resillyence is taking the push to... They're taking the Rainmaker forward. They have their eyes on the left checkpoint. The torpedoes are coming out. The Crab is coming out to try and stop them. Now going towards the right, using the wall that the ZNF Charger put up. They are pushing the Rainmaker, and they are able to get it just to the checkpoint in time before they get splatted, and 2 of their teammates go with them.
Really good play there. They saw that their teammates were not there to continue the push any longer, so they decided, let's just get check, regroup, and we'll go again.
Yeah. Now both teams have gotten the checkpoint down. Resillyence has room to make another push when they have it, but there's only 35 seconds left or so, and so they don't have a lot of time to make a push, and as they go 3 down, it's going to be tough for them to regroup and push further in the time remaining.
Yeah, they are going to have to be very careful considering the dualies appear to be painting for their Crab, which would be a very oppressive special, especially on Eeltail.
Yeah, and we saw the Killer Whale come out. No more specials from Splash, but the V-Pro goes down before they can use the Crab, and that really is going to hurt Resillyence. Even as they pick up the Rainmaker to trigger overtime, the V-Pro comes back out. They're jumping back in, but they don't have Crab ready yet. They can't really put the pressure on, as the Crab and the other special from the Carbon Deco come out. The Crab from Splash and they're able to stop the Rainmaker.
A surprise Crab from up high. They really had to be careful around there, considering they had Zuka and Crab ready. It was very dangerous moving in there.
Yeah, for sure. So next up is Clam Blitz on Brinewater with the same comps that we saw before. Do you have any thoughts on these comps, on how they might fare on clams on Brinewater?
Looking at them now, definitely, I'd say Resillyence has an interesting plays they could do here. Zip is really good for just creating enough time for the team to throw clams. Crab is really good for, because it's Crab. Bubbles, of course, amazing for Clam Blitz, and Strikes are just really good at cloaking. They have really good specials on that side that they should definitely take advantage of, and definitely should use the range that they have, because if you see, they have a lot more range to be considered versus Splash that they should definitely be taking advantage of.
Yeah, the ZNF Charger is widely considered one of the best weapons, if not the best weapon, the kit that is to be added in the Fresh Season update. And so we are going to want to see them making the most of the versatility of that, using the Splash Wall to protect themselves, getting in great positions, and popping the Tri-Strike when they can. It's good, though they need to be able to follow up on it with the rest of their team. And now we see the match Clam Blitz starting.
Splash might be going for a more aggressive plays here. I mean, they did last match, and they're definitely going to need to do it for clams, considering it's a pretty disadvantaged state they reach if they don't play heavy aggro.
Yeah, and this is a small map, and so we see both teams going for mid. The Carbon sharking around here, trying to catch anyone unaware if they come by. Plenty of orange turf going down, though the ZNF Charger does go down, and the Carbon does get a pick. That's 2 down on Resillyence. The Carbon's picking up more clams. Splash definitely has a lot more clams. They have 22. No one. Oh, they just get a power clam. Everyone else has a lot of clams, and if they can get a solid push here and move up to the basket, they can score a ton right now.
And then the basket is open, and they are throwing all the clams that they have there. Down to 50 is a really good lead.
Yeah, that's a great opening push, even though they get wiped out, and the dualies got splatted before they could drop any of their clams in the basket. Splash is able to get down to 50, but Resillyence already, after the wipeout, is pushing up into near the basket. However, they aren't quite able to make it all the way, even though they have the tri-strike. They get 2 down, both teams go 2 down. It looks like this push from Resillyence isn't going the way they would have hoped.
Interesting defense from them, considering they were just wiped, but they were still able to maintain their map control.
Yeah, they maintain map control, and especially control around the basket. And now they're already scoring again. They've already... the initial power clam wasn't enough to fully take out... Oh, they got another power clam in.
Unrelenting.
So 26 remaining. Yeah, unrelenting is right. Yeah, that first power clam wouldn't have been enough to even fully take out their penalty points, and so they scored more and got a second power clam in, and that has really increased their lead. And so Resillyence needs to put together a successful push if they're going to stand a chance of coming back here. They did take 2 down on Splash, but they are still struggling to control mid.
Right. They still have a lot of time on the board considering how fast their first pushes were, but they still really need to collect the clams and then actually make a push happen soon, because Splash is really fast with their plays here.
Definitely. Resillyence did get staggered for a moment, and they aren't really holding mid well. There's another pick that goes out. The pro is really not able to make the most of their special if they're getting picked like that.
Really interestingly, Splash seems to have really good subs all around for all of their weapons, versus Resillyence, who has wall and mist and angle shooter. They aren't so as easily able to take space without shooting their main weapon.
And taking space is a big deal here, since there's so little of it that there is to take. It's possible to flank, but it's not very easy.
Definitely isn't, especially with the weapons they have. The only one that can really do it is Octobrush, and they might want to zip instead.
That's true. But now Resillyence is looking to take a bit more of mid. They have 12 clams, which is enough for a power clam if they can get them all to one person. Here come the tri-strikes from the ZNF Charger and the Booyah Bomb from their Zinc Mini. They have a power clam, but the specials come out from Splash, and 2 go down on Resillyence before they can bring the clam to the basket.
Just a bit too late. Maybe a crab from the pro would have been useful, but they did pop 2 specials there.
Yeah, however, 2 go down on Splash, and Resillyence have their power clam. They still do have the pity clam, and they are able to get their first points on the board. All 4 players up on both teams. Yep, going back to the pity. 1 down on each team. They get 1 more clam in, but get splatted, and another goes down, and now it's just the Zinc Mini left, holding onto their pity clam. They aren't able to hold on to a push long enough. They aren't able to hold control around Splash's basket, and they're going to seriously need to put together a fast, solid push and really collect clams efficiently if they're going to come back from this deficit and stand a chance of taking the series.
Down on the side of Resillyence, they have a zip ready and they have a power clam, so they can activate overtime, but are they going to get scored on first? They are.
Yeah. Splash didn't need to wait for the 20 seconds of overtime to go. They just went in, they got their own clam, and they scored to end it right away, and that takes them the series, and that takes them to losers round 9.
Really interesting. It was really interesting to see how Splash is able to just like fully take advantage of the fact that their subs are just better for locking out and keeping them out of mid, so that they were able to just, because mid is so important on Brine. It really is, considering how small the space is, as you said.
Yeah. Once you have mid, it's just, there's pretty much almost nothing between mid and the zone around the basket, and that is such an important control to get. But Splash was able to stop Resillyence when they had, even when Resillyence had mid. Splash was able to defend their basket, and didn't they even come back from a wipeout at one point? Like, despite getting wiped out, they were able to hold on to their basket and prevent Resillyence from getting even a single clam in until very late on.
Exactly. Despite being wiped, they still managed to get Resillyence 3 down in response to their push from their first score, or from Splash's first score, which got them down to 50. They got Resillyence 3 down, and they immediately scored the down to 26.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and even at the start, it was just a dominant showing from Splash with their initial score. They collected so many clams to begin with, and they were able to capitalize on that, and they were able to just get 50 points right in their first push, which is a very good initial score.
Really nice to see. Gotcha. Well, it's time to sign off.
All right. So,
well, that's it from me, and
yep.
Pi here.
That's it from us as commentators. We'll have the final set of commentators up for the rest of the tournament, and it's going to be very exciting to see those matches. We'll be getting to the end of the losers bracket and the grand finals.
Right.
So I'm Pi. You can find me at my Twitter, One Slice of Pie. Cytogast, how about you?
You can find me at my Twitter on Cytogast, and most other things that are just Cytogast. And stay tuned for losers, the end of losers bracket and grand finals.
Yep. We'll have a quick break, and after that, you'll be hearing from our third set of commentators for the day. But that's all from us, and enjoy the rest of the tournament.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Under Pressure Armory. We're getting towards the end of the bracket here. I am Broken Pinky and I'm joined here by Saf. Saf, how you doing today?
Howdy Pinky, I'm doing pretty good here. Really excited to be on Under Pressure today with you and looking at these crazy comps here in Armory. Wowie zowie. Predetermined comps, Pinky. Quite interesting here. And we have Hold W and Splash coming in here to losers round 9 with the best of 3. And just looking at these comps right off the gate here, what are you seeing?
I'm seeing a lot of interesting stuff here. I personally am a ginormous fan of Range Blaster, so I'm excited to see that weapon potentially pop off. But speaking of weapons that pop off, that Tetra Dually on that Bravo comp has a lot of solo carry potential. There's so much skill expression you can have with a good Tetra player. So I'm very excited to see how both these teams will navigate around, both their comps here.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there, and I'm seeing on the Alpha Comp team here at the top, you have the Tri-Slosher Nouveau and the Splash as well, and I think those two coming together, if you're able to use those together, you can combat the Tetra very well from doing any sort of soloing that you might have coming out from it. But you also have a lot of support coming in from that Custom Junior with that Wave Breaker and throwing in those torpedoes as well for a lot of tracking, so definitely going to be an interesting one for sure.
Yeah, I feel like it's just the story of this tournament is just a lot of interesting matchups, and even aside from the comps, these two teams have had a very interesting tournament run. We've had Hold W, who lost back in winners round 2 and has just been making a massive run through losers all the way to losers semis, and Splash, we just saw them in that most recent set, and both these teams have, come a long way here to get to this match. Loser's going to get 4th place, and, both of them want to win to be able to move on for the chance at Grands. So I'm just excited to see whatever's going to happen here.
Yeah, and I believe for this one too, we're going to be in a counter-picking situation. So, opening up right away here, we are at Sturgeon Shipyard with tower control, I believe is what I'm seeing in the middle there, right out the starting gate here. And we have everybody with their selected weapons, it seems here. You have the Tetra Dualies, you have Alex on the Tetra, Zoyo on that Nozzle Nose there, but you have Eris coming in on that Custom Jet Squelcher. And man, oh man, I'm loving seeing Custom Jet Squelcher coming out in comps, and I'm glad that we get to see it here today, Pinky.
Yeah, I feel like Custom Jet Squelcher, when it was first, revealed, was one of the most slept-on weapons to come out of this new season, but the Hammer Throw is going to come out from the L3. But yeah, as I was saying, the Jet Squelcher was slept on quite a bit, just because people didn't really think it had much purpose. But I feel like now people are starting to realize that Jet Squelcher is really good at, area denial with its new kit. So I'm excited to see it start being pushed, and we're going to definitely see some action from it here. But right now, this Range Blaster is trying to get some started in mid. They are going to get taken out here as Splash is going to try and get a push going here with their man advantage.
Yeah, and you can see Zoyo having it this way, coming out, trying to see if they can get maybe somebody pinched on the side of Hold W, and it seems to their success that is what happened. You have I2 now sitting on the tower, just ticking down that penalty as best they can with that Hydra, but you also have the Jet Squelcher there trying to provide a little bit of pressure and taking the Hydra off of that tower. Now 2 down on Splash, and that tower's moving back to mid.
Yeah, the tower moves back to mid, but Splash was able to break that first checkpoint here on Sturgeon, which is definitely not the easiest thing in the world. You have to get it down to around 63, but here comes Hold W on this counter push. The Tri-Slosher is actually just going to get taken out, going to get 2v1, and that's going to leave just the Custom Jet for Hold W, and Splash, maneuvered expertly in that team fight and has another opportunity to push this tower.
Yeah, now you can see Zoyo's going to be getting comfortable on that tower. You have Andy and I2 to follow up as well. Now that tower is going to make its way into the back to where first checkpoint is, but being heavily contested by Lemon, but it looks like Zoyo actually on the flank with having Lemon turning all the way around and taking their attention away from that tower. And now Splash is going to be moving that tower into checkpoint number 2 with 3 members down now and only the Custom Junior being up.
Yeah, that was a beautiful aggressive push by Zoyo and Alex there. Those Tetra Dualies doing exactly what they do best, getting behind the enemy lines and just distracting as best as possible. And that gave an opening for Splash to get a few more points on the board. They were nearing that second checkpoint, and right now, Hold W has a little over half the match remaining and a massive mountain to climb if they want to get this lead.
Yeah, and Splash is doing an excellent job. It's like you said, there was those Tetras right in mid, taking away attention from 2 members of Splash right onto them, which is exactly what you, or excuse me, from Hold W onto them, which is exactly what you want to be doing. The Tetra is a great distraction factor, and it's also a really good weapon to take into a 1v1 battle. But now you have 3 members of Hold W trying to defend this tower right now. Wavebreaker is out doing a little bit of tracking, and you also see that Inkstorm going into the pit area of Splash. But now with 3 members down of Hold W, you have Junie holding down the fort on their own, trying to keep that tower into position there so that they can keep it moving with 5 points remaining to try to take this lead.
Yeah, this lead is being hotly contested right now by Hold W. They were able to clear that checkpoint with relative ease, and they're still pushing this tower, but now Splash is here with the defense trying to hold them off, but Splash is now 3 dead. It's just the L3, or just the Tetras are going to get taken out. The L3 is coming from spawn. This lead is almost surely going to flip in favor of Hold W, and now they're going to have the chance to try and break that second checkpoint, and if they get through it, that's the chance for a knockout, and there it goes. Hold W in a great position right now.
Yeah, oh my gosh, that pit area is so incredibly yellow, and I think both of those picks coming out from Junie at the end there were absolutely crucial. Not only covering a ton of space in that pit area, but also allowing their teammates to be able to do exactly that. Hold W to hold forward and come in and take that lead and the win.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful play from both of these teams here. Splash had a fantastic push going at the beginning, but Hold W responded in such a strong way and got, you know, to the end of the, the end of the tower path in just 1 push there. And I mean, that just goes to show, I mean, the comp they chose really fits their strategy. They were able to hold W with weapons like the Tri-Nouveau and the Splash that can play really aggressively, and the teammates played off of that beautifully in that game.
Yeah, and also I want to shout out Junie once again getting the double pick, but then launching that tri-strike at the right moment, because there were 2 members of Splash coming out of spawn as soon as they launched that tri-strike. So not only were they displacing and holding them back, but also just providing themselves enough time to not only get more ink on the field, but to keep that tower moving, which is exactly what Hold W did in that last little bit of time there. But round 2, moving on, we're going to Rainmaker Museum de Alfonso. Pinky, do you have your tickets? We're going to the museum. We're going to the museum. We're seeing the sights. We're seeing the exhibits, and we're taking Rainmaker with us.
Yeah, we're seeing the great sights. I mean, we're gonna be committing a little bit of robbery. We're gonna be taking, the great Rainmaker fish statue with us, hopefully, as we hop right into game 2 here of loser semis between Hold W and Splash. These comps are not changing, but they're spicy as always. I'm just excited to see how these teams throw themselves into each other once again.
Yeah, I'm actually curious to why they didn't change their comp again. I mean, I guess you want to pick the best one that gives you the best results, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Am I right?
Surely.
And there we go. The Rainmaker's popped. The fish is out. There's ink flying everywhere. That Wavebreaker was popped right away. First 20 seconds into the game, and you have that Wavebreaker out on mid. Zoyo getting an excellent pick. They're going for pick number 2, looking for pick number 3, but taking 2 members' attention away from the Rainmaker onto them. That is 3 members down on Hold W now, and Splash now picking up the Rainmaker to try to make their first move to this checkpoint relatively uncontested.
I can't remember the last time I've seen an L3 play like that without damage up. Absolutely ridiculous play from Zoyo. They're getting a double and just putting so much attention on them that they allowed the rest of their team to move forward, and that's what Splash is doing right now. That Rainmaker is now at 33 points. The Hydra popped Booyah in a bit of an unfortunate spot, but Splash still has a lot of control right now. It's just their Neo Splash left alive on the side of Hold W trying to contest things, but Hold W is coming back trying to defend this Rainmaker. But what a phenomenal start from Splash here once again in game 2.
Yeah, listen. I'm thinking Zoyo's pocketing that L3D right now. I'm thinking that this is a pocket weapon for them, because there they go, getting an excellent pick. Once again, all the members of Hold W being kind of trapped into their platform spawn area, but now getting that Rainmaker off of their plat, which I think is definitely crucial for them to try to make a proper response here, with Lemon picking up that Rainmaker. But now we have a 2v2 situation here. Hold W still trying to come back out into this mid area, trying to gain some space for themselves and gain some ink, and you have Mace now taking out Zoyo, which I think will also be very crucial for them, and Tacticooler now coming out as well.
Yeah, the Soda is going to be coming out, and I mean, this could be what Hold W needs to win this team fight, but already they are 2 dead right now. This number advantage has been in Splash for pretty much this entire game, and there we go. It's just the custom Jet Squelcher left alive for Hold W here, and Splash definitely capitalizing on this opportunity to paint up the map. That Rainmaker is popped once again. It's being picked up by the Hydra, which can't contribute much to this push, and already this Rainmaker is applying a lot of pressure onto the enemy plat. It's going to be dropping onto the plat of Hold W, And, I mean, Splash just seems content to just hold it in this area right now and just stall for time here and get picks and really take it slow because they've already gotten that great push to 33 that they need for the game, and they can just wait for Hold W to be forced to respond.
I just felt my gut turn into itself. How? The amount of movement and mobility that I2 had with that Rainmaker not getting taken out by the bucket that was coming at them. I'm kind of shocked, to be honest. The very, very tip of that bucket swing, not just barely like hitting them, almost hitting them, and they were able to stay out of range for that just long enough, and definitely running out this clock now for Hold W with having 2 minutes left in this game to try to make a push and make a move here. But now Booyah Bomb coming out for the side of Splash. You can see all members of Splash kind of trying to defend this left side and a little bit of their platform here, not giving Hold W any room to spare to try to get onto that first checkpoint.
Yeah, it feels like Hold W has just not had any room to breathe right now. Even now, it's just the custom Jet Squelcher left alone here in spawn. Neo Splash is going to spawn and try to protect them, but Splash is already aggressing so much, and yeah, Hold W never really been able to set up. Their Jet Squelcher is down to the Hydra. That's the backline gone, and Hold W, I feel like it's just not been able to get any stable footing, and Splash has been doing such a great job of just, making them uncomfortable right now. The numbers advantage is in favor of Hold W. They have to make it count because they're running out of time. Only a minute 25 left on the clock for Hold W to get that Rainmaker down to 32.
Now Hold W's got that Tacticooler in mid. We have Mace and we have one other member kind of camping out in the mid area now. But now a crucial trade there going on between Mace and one other member of Splash, but now we have a 2v2 situation with the members trying to jump back in as quickly as possible. It seems like Splash is doing a really good job of just trying to keep the firefight going between them. The Hold W hasn't really had a chance to try to make a move and or get themselves into position to pick up this Rainmaker because Splash has just been bringing the aggression with Andy now being into the spawn area of Hold W, getting an awesome pick and trying to hold members into their spawning area, which allows the Hydra to move up so far.
I mean, when's the last time you've seen a custom junior spawn camp? That was ridiculous from Andy, and it's still going. Gets the assist on the range blaster, and just holding onto the Wavebreaker. They don't even need to pop it. Andy's just content to sit here and just be a nuisance. That Wavebreaker's finally being popped. There's an extra torpedo, sees the Tri-Slosher on the other side, but I mean, Hold W has not gotten a single point on the board. Slash has just had complete and utter domination of this game right now. There's only 15 seconds left. It's 2 versus 2 in mid, but that Hydra's going to pop that Rainmaker by themselves easily. It's just the range blaster. That's a delayed wipeout, and that's going to be game 2 going handily to Splash here as the clock runs out.
Oh my gosh, and right in that mid area too. I don't know if you saw that, Pinky, but once again, Zoyo taking the fight to Hold W and getting a double pick right in the mid area before they could even get their hands on the Rainmaker to try to get some points on that board. And not only that, but like you said, when's the last time you've seen somebody push into spawn with a custom junior? And we also had a lot of sharking tactics coming out from Andy as well, which it's like, when's the last time you've seen a custom junior try to shark and go into a 2v1? Because I couldn't tell you when that happened for me, to be honest.
I mean, hey, history gets rewritten every day. That's just what Armoury brings out when you force people into these, unconventional comps that they wouldn't dare to try. But I mean, hey, this stuff is pretty fun when you try it out for the first time.
I agree with you there. But taking us down into round 3 in a 1v1 scenario, we have Clam Blitz on Inkblot Art Academy, kind of the other exhibit that we got to see in Splatoon 2, and then going into Splatoon 3 with Museum de Alfonso. It's another place of art and culture here at Inkblot Art Academy, and taking the fight with Clam Blitz, taking the aggression in with Clam Blitz coming out with probably the same 2 compositions we've been seeing once again. If it ain't broke, why would you fix it? And that's what these 2 teams are saying right here. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, and we're gonna keep on rolling and keep on chucking with this.
Yeah, last time we were, stealing a famous artifact from the museum. Now we're just going to be throwing footballs all over the place. We're just causing so much mayhem and ruckus, but that's what Splatoon is all about as we get into Game 3 of this loser semi-set. And both of these teams are just trying to play a, calculated neutral. In Clam Blitz especially, every pick is so explosive, and that range blaster gets immediately caught off guard by that 2v1. Zoyo getting that pick there and already has 7 clams to their name. And, I mean, this is just an incredible start here already.
Yeah, and I love to see people getting their clams in their pockets just right away. Zoyo getting a really awesome stamp pick and getting another pick and almost getting the 3rd on Mace, but Mace being able to be the victor in that one, but having enough damage to just get taken out by the follow-up of other members. from
I think that's I think blue is Splash here.
Oh, excuse me. Get too exciting, getting really excited this match. Okay, Andy coming in, getting an awesome pick on this left side here, and trying to see if they can find an opening. They're gonna go ahead and throw that wave breaker out, try to clear some space, trying to track the members of Hold W up on that platform to see kind of what's going on up there. Where are you at? Where can I find you? And how can I pull forward? Because I do think they need to be watching out for Zoyo for sure, but they also need to be watching out for Andy coming in on this side here and trying to almost maybe go for the flank, but Mace being able to take them out before they can cause some real damage.
Yeah, Hold W is definitely, Hold W is already converting to a very strong advantage here. Mid is painted entirely in their color. They are juiced up. They have that soda at the ready and popped, and they have a lot of clamps in their name. Hold W's comp clearly seems to, benefit a lot more on smaller maps like Inkblot. So this is kind of where they can play around a little bit and where, their comp really thrives. They're starting to get some picks here and they're starting to move forward, but they have to reach that choke point in order to get to the enemy plat if they want to get a score. And that Hydra is such a great defender of that area just because of the constant stream of fire. But the Hydra is down, the Junior is down. This is a great opportunity for Hold Forward to break that basket. Ares has 7, that's the ball, and that's the basket breaker for Hold W.
Yeah, you could see that Hold W. There was definitely some communication going on there to try to get some clams thrown to one another because everybody had enough clams in their pockets, but just not enough to actually form a power clam. But now you have 3 members down on the side of Hold W, and you have just the Jet Sculpture up popping that rain right now to try to get the members of Splash away. And Zoyo getting an excellent stamp throw. Once again, the second stamp throw and kill that they were able to get in this game. The Reef Slider coming in, taking 1, taking 2, the ball in Zoyo's hands, and now Splash is going to go ahead and make their follow-up and take the lead.
Yeah, what a swift follow-up from Splash there. They almost immediately got that lead back, and they're still going. They still have clams going to that basket. Down to 39 right now. It looks like that push is going to end there at 30 as the Tetras go down. That's a delayed wipe on the side of Splash, but Splash got that score down to 30. Hold W has less than 2 minutes to respond. They have to get it down to 29, which, I mean, they definitely have the resources to do it if they make another push going, but Splash just made a statement that they are still in this game.
Listen, we like to make fun of Reef Slider, but you just saw it right here, folks, on Armoury. Reef Slider not only gave Zoyo the clearance to go in there and to follow up and get those 2 kills, but it also allowed Splash to take the lead in this game right here, right now. But now, I'm gonna eat my words here as Hold W now getting the pop and taking the timer down to 30, but unfortunately just not having enough time to be able to follow up, and it's gonna add another point and a penalty onto their timer.
They were 1 clam away from getting the lead back from Splash, and instead it's going to backfire on them. They had to expend a lot of resources on that push, and they only have another minute 30, including overtime, to build those resources back up. Meanwhile, Splash is going to be defending with their lives. Hydra gets the pick on the range blaster there, trying to hold down this plat area. Hydra does have the power clam at the ready, and that is going to be Hold W. 2 dead right now. This is a good opportunity for Splash if they want to push, but at this point, they might not even have to. They're just seem content to defend here with all their great resources here and just force Hold W to come for them, because at this point this is for the set and this is for staying in the tournament. There's a lot at risk here.
Once again, there goes that Reef Slider coming in, and you have Alex getting a pick. You have the Booyah Bomb providing them some coverage and the Tri-Strike to follow up. That ball goes into the basket and takes a little bit of that penalty out. You still have 3 members up on the side of Splash with the jump coming in, and now reversing that lead once again into Splash's favor. And you can see that one of the last members of Splash now jumping out to try to get out and come back in with their teammates. 14 seconds left on this clock. Pinky, the power clam is in Hold W's favor. Can they get it in there?
They have to. They don't have a choice. There's going to be 26 seconds left, including that overtime. Junie has this power clam, gets a pick, is going to get rushed by 2 people on the side of Splash, gets taken out. It's 2 and 2. And the final moments of this match, we're in overtime, but the Tri-Slasher gets taken out. This range blaster trying to jump in, but they can't get to that power clam. Hold W not able to make it come together in the 11th hour, and Splash is going to exercise just a beautiful defense, taking down Hold W's offense and winning the set 2-1.
You could see there at the end, Hold W was doing just that. They were holding forward. They had each member trying to jump in and jump in and jump in to try to pick up and save that clam to keep them in this game and try to move forward. But Splash being in the proper position to take them out and to take the set. Congratulations, Splash.
Yeah, Splash played that set beautifully, especially in games 2 and 3. Game 2 was just so suffocating for Splash. Or I mean, Hold W didn't really get a chance to do anything in Game 3. Splash had a pretty constant tempo once they got that lead with that push all the way down to 30 for the first time. So very well played set from both of these two. I cannot give enough props to Hold W. They made it all the way to losers semis after losing in winners round 2. So incredible losers run for Hold W. Definitely something to feel proud of, but Splash is going to be the one that gets the chance to move on to losers finals up against Caprisun Sippin.
Looking forward to that one, and just the coordination that was coming from Splash in that last match that we got to see was quite incredible. I mean, being able to not only take the lead, but then coordinate yourselves on the map properly. You had Andy all the way at the left, painting at the ramp area. You had the Hydra now moving up into the middle area, kind of watching the mid. You had the Tetris kind of going in and trying to watch the Flake, and Reef sliding in to try to give space for Zoyo to come in and finish the fight with them as well. I mean, the coordination was just incredible. Definitely a fight to be had, but we're going to be taking a little bit of a break. So y'all don't go anywhere. Under Pressure Armoury coming right back at you soon. Hey everybody, welcome on back to Under Pressure's Armory. I am Saf and I'm here with Pinky and we're moving on into the Losers Finals. Losers Finals with counterpicking comps and counterpicking maps. Pinky, what are you looking forward to?
I mean, I'm looking forward to quite a bit. This is the Losers Finals between Caprisun, Sippin, and Splash here. Both these teams fighting for that chance to get into Grands, and as you said, Saf, for the first time, we now have some map counterpicks, also some comp counterpicks. These teams each have a few comps to choose from here as we go into each of these games, and I mean the choice is theirs for how they want to tackle every single game that comes their way. So I'm gonna be intrigued to see the strategies that both of these teams try to employ. That's gonna lead them to have the best chance at winning with their comps.
Yeah, and for the viewers at home that are here and watching, you don't really get to see like what kind of comps and picks that we get to counterpick and have, but man oh man, these comps that we are seeing here over at the commentating desk are quite interesting, let me tell you something.
They're spicy.
I'm seeing some H3, I'm seeing some Tentbrella, I'm seeing some Zinc Mini, I'm seeing some Dynamo as well. What?
I'm seeing some Range Blaster. I don't think we'll see some Range Blaster, but I am seeing some Range Blaster as an option. So, I mean, hey, that'd be awesome.
Definitely some interesting choices here going into Losers Finals, but starting off right out the gate, we're going to open it on up on Rainmaker Scorched Gorge, and here we go. Our teams are ready to go. We're kicking, and we're ready to get this game on the ground. Okay, we see the 96 Deco and the Reflux pick coming out with the double crack-on roller. Excuse me?
Yeah, double Kraken roller. Interesting combination state. Oh, never mind. It was... oh, wait, I think I see what happened. There might have been a misinterpretation by one of these teams about the rules here.
Oh, okay. I was going to say that game ended as quickly as it started. Okay, well, anyways, Caprisun Sippin has had quite a run into this tournament as well. We got to see Splash in that last little bit there. We've seen Splash a lot, and especially coming out with a lot of really excellent gameplay coming in from Alex and Zoyo trying to team up together. We saw Andy sharking with that Custom Junior and providing a lot of pressure and trying to take on the spawning area by themselves at one point with a Custom Junior, which a lot of aggression coming out from the side of Splash, but Caprisun has also had quite a run in this tournament so far.
Yeah, both of these teams have done pretty well for themselves. Caprisun Sippin had a great run through winners, not dropping a game until they met up with Zero Deaths, who defeated them 3-0. As for Splash, also had a decent run in winners, but also got eliminated, or got sent to losers by 0 deaths, and has made a bit of a losers run here. Won the last 4 sets straight, trying to make it 5 and get that chance for the run back up against 0 deaths, who's currently sitting pretty undefeated in the winner side of Grands.
We're looking forward to seeing them as well, but that's not where we are, Pinky. We're in losers finals right now, getting started once again on Discord Scourge Rainmaker, and we still have the same comp coming out from the side of Caprisun Sippin. And look at that, we got a little bit of a change up. We took that Crack-On roller out, and we're going to replace it with a machine instead.
Yeah, only one Kraken. I feel like two is a little bit unholy, but now we're back into the thick of it here. These are some interesting comps on both sides. We do see, Caprisun Sippin has a heavy DPS comp with that Dapple Dually and Reflux, both doing a lot of damage. The Chomp Dump is going to come out as well from the Zap to try and help the team fight here. But even still, it's an even fight right now. It's 2 versus 2 left alive. This Reflux and the Dapple Duallies are the last few for Caprisun Sippin here, as they're trying to, establish a little bit of control here. But Flash is just trying to paint over and, get back into things here.
I'm telling you right now, these beacons that are coming out for Pigeon, I think, are going to be crucial for Caprisun to get not only keep them, give them a bunch of access points to jump to, but also to keep them in this game and keep them on this map. And especially with a lot of the aggression that we've got to see from Splash time and time again, that's going to be really important for them to make their presence known on this map. But Splash is going to go ahead and pick up this Rainmaker first, now having a 3-down situation on the side of Caprisun, and they're going to go ahead and take this first checkpoint.
Yeah, that was a delayed wipe on Caprisun Sippin, and Splash, taking that advantage, leveraging it to get that first checkpoint really effectively. And Andy here setting up some beacons of their own with that Crack-On roller and picking up that Rainmaker once again, trying to just get points as much as possible, down to 40. I'm sure Splash will definitely be happy with that, but they probably want more if they can take it. But never mind, they're just opting to retreat here. The Custom Jet Sculptor being chased by this Kraken is able to survive for now. Beauty is going to get popped, so yeah, Splash's push is going to end at 40, but a pretty solid start for them here in just the first minute and a half.
Yeah, and you could tell that Splash was not letting up there. They were trying to get back into that spawning area of Caprisun as quickly as possible, but Caprisun was not going to let them have it. You have that Reflex providing so much ink coverage here for Caprisun as well, and providing them a lot of space to be able to move around. I'm noticing a theme here, Pinky, with Zoyo. Zoyo picking the weapons, not only that are front line, but also having the stamp on them as well. We can see Zoyo also having the stamp with this mini Splatling at their disposal right now. But once again, being pushed up into the spawn of Caprisun and providing so much aggression here. Caprisun having a little bit of trouble trying to find their footing getting out of this spawn point.
Yeah, Zoyo definitely has an affinity for 4-shot weapons with Burst Bomb Ultra Stamp, that's for sure. And I mean, they're making it work 2 for 2, and Splash is making this push work in their favor right now. Things were looking a little precarious, but now they have the numbers advantage themselves and are starting to push. But here comes the 10 missiles and the Kraken from Caprisun Sippin to try and stop this Maker. Is able to get the pick, but Splash is still pretty deep into Caprisun's territory, still providing a lot of pressure. That Booyah Bomb is going to get tossed down. It's going to get 2 kills with that Booyah Bomb. It's going to go down, but Andy's going to pick this Rainmaker right back up, gets it all the way down to the knockout, and Splash just takes that game 1 there and then.
Oh, you could see that Andy was just trying to run with it as fast as they could. One of the members of Caprisun flipped their attention around immediately from the other members of Splash to try to take Andy out as quickly as possible, but just not having quite enough time to do so, and just not having enough time to spawn back into the map. So Splash gonna go ahead and take that first game, and now we have the counter pick coming out from Caprisun, and what are they going to pick? I'm really curious.
I mean, I'm also pretty intrigued. This is going to be a best of 5 set, just like it was in winners finals here. And Caprisun Sippin, I mean, they've had a good run in the tournament until they met up with 0 deaths, and here's Splash already kind of shaking them up a little bit. I'm sure they weren't expecting this much of a challenge here, but Splash is the team with a lot of momentum on their side. They've won the last 4 sets in the losers bracket, and unlike Caprisun Sippin, they've been playing pretty constantly since then. So maybe Caprisun Sippin just needs some time to warm up, but Splash already off to a fantastic start in this set.
Yeah, and one thing that I think Caprisun needs to keep in mind is that the aggression from Splash is not something to be reckoned with. I mean, they were in the pit and spawn area of their spawn for a majority of that game. As soon as they were able to take the fights that they needed to in mid, that's exactly where they were around that first checkpoint. They were utilizing that podium as much as possible, not only for jump-ins, but also for their backline to be positioned, for people to go and hide underneath that ledge to try to wait out for the members of Caprisun to come back out of their spawn area. And there was a moment there where all 4 members of Caprisun were out and in that pit area, and they weren't able to really spread themselves out too much or to try to gain a little bit more control, and I think the Splash was just able to capitalize on that so well. And right now we can see on the screen we are going to be playing tower control for round 2, but what is the stage? It's still a mystery.
It's still a mystery, but I mean, I definitely agree with you, Saf. Splash played that game incredibly intelligently and very coordinatedly. As a team, it just everything fell into place for them, and that's just because they were playing in a way that forced Caprisun and Sippin to play right into their hand. And I mean, Splash was able to take full advantage of that, and that kind of play is what's gotten them this far, and what they're hoping is going to get them all the way to grand finals. But they first have to get through Caprisun and Sippin if they want the chance for that run back.
And I think too, having the comp that they were using, they were able to utilize their specials really well as too. But you know, for Caprisun and Sippin, I was really looking forward. I don't know if you saw right in the beginning there, Pinky, but we saw not only the chumps coming out, but the missiles as follow-up to the chumps. It was like the chumps flew across the screen, and then immediately you saw missiles snaking their way across the screen, and I was like, oh, that could be something really interesting. What are they cooking? What are they cooking with that? Is there going to be a little bit more of that? I feel if we could maybe utilize that a little bit further, then that could be something to kind of reckon with.
Yeah, that's honestly a little bit terrifying in my opinion. Just trying to deal with fighting with people in chumps while you're also being missiled just doesn't sound like, you know, it sounds like a bit of a nightmare here. And I guess Caprisun and Sippin was trying to go for that. Maybe they'll try that strategy once again in Game 2 once the counter pick is selected. But yeah, I mean, there's just a lot that these comps can do. They're, you know, meticulously created to give options with unorthodox weapons. So it really comes down to which team can exploit the, you know, strengths of their comp best.
And that's what's so fun about competitive Splatoon, right? Is especially with something like Armoury, where your comps are predetermined. You get to maybe pick what comp that you want, right? But you still have people that are comfortable in their roles picking those weapons. And a great example was I2 in that last game when they kept picking up the Hydra. They were picking up the Hydra at Inkblot. They were picking up the Hydra at Sturgeon as well. And we got to see them here picking up the Jet Squelcher and still maintaining that backline role on the side of Splash. And so it's one of those things where even if the weapon is not something that you're quite familiar with, it still falls into that role of what you're comfortable with playing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, a lot of roles can work, and a lot of weapons, you know, play relatively similar to each other, even if there are, you know, some better options. But it's just all about taking something you might not be totally comfortable with and just making it work in your favor as best as possible. And I mean, that's what it's all about. I'm once again excited to see what is going to happen once these counter picks get chosen.
Yeah, and from what we're seeing here, it seems like with our counter picks, the two of the maps that were allowed to pick here were Makomar and Hagglefish, and those are both being banned here. So, Caprisun, Sippin, although they are picking tower control, those are two maps that they are not allowed to pick on this counter pick, and so they are left with only 2 maps to pick from going into this second round.
Yeah, they have a few options to pick from, but I mean, they have to be smart about it. So it's gonna come down to it, because I mean, the whole point of counter pick is to get yourself an advantage and to suit yourself a little bit better than the enemy team, just to make sure that you can get off on the right foot, because the last thing you want to do in a best of 5 set is go down 0-2, and it looks like Caprisun and Sippin is going to try to prevent that from happening with their counter pick on tower control Sturgeon. Saf, what are some of your thoughts on this stage?
You know, I have really good feelings, thoughts, and opinions on this stage, but that is also a complete bias, because I've personally had a very good comeback in low ink on this stage with a really, really strong flank that was done by yours truly, who really is bad at flanking. So I have a little bit of a bias on this one, but I think this one is excellent for the front line. To really make themselves known and to make or break the game for themselves. But we do see the pick now getting changed up for the side of Caprisun and Sippin. And Pinky, we're seeing that Rage Blaster and that Dynamo comp coming out here in Game 2.
I talked about this briefly with Saf and Elemental before this game. I said I would love it in my heart to see the Range Blaster Dynamo comp being picked. I can't see it happening. Here it is! Here it's happening already. Unfortunately, Caprisun and Sippin already 3 dead in the first 30 seconds of Splash, pushing that tower very quickly. So this comp is not working out for Caprisun and Sippin, as well as I'm sure they were hoping for. But they have to, you know, put that aside and move quickly here, because Splash not giving them any time to think, already through that first checkpoint and quickly making a charge for that second one.
Yeah, there's a lot of purple ink going down on that right side there and on the way to that second checkpoint there. You have I2 pretty cozy up on that tower, taking that tower into that second checkpoint, but getting taken down now finally. Caprisun coming back out of the spawning area and going to make sure that that push stops at the 34 mark with that tower moving back into mid. You have Pigeon here getting a kind of a delayed direct there, but an excellent one nonetheless off of I2 with the Wave Breaker now coming out as a follow-up, and the Dynamo now sitting on the tower. They're going to try to hold this space as much as possible with the members of Splash being held back quite a bit into their spawning point.
Ooh, hitting on that range blaster, had a little bit too much gusto there trying to get that direct on the machine. But this first checkpoint is going to fall. Caprisun Sippin through that first checkpoint once again. So that checkpoint is not going to be in their way for their next pushes, but they're probably going to opt to run away. Yeah, the range blaster is going to go down. It is just the V-shot. Let's go live for Caprisun Sippin. And they're just trying to stay alive and just trying to recuperate with their teammates a little bit. But Splash already has control of that tower again, has that special advantage on their side, and has a few specials at the ready as well that they can maybe use to extend their push a little bit and maybe even extend their lead a little further.
Yeah, and you have Alex now bringing out this Booyah Bomb. You have Kraken and Rain also coming out with the Booyah Bomb as well. Some excellent special coordination once again coming out from the side of Splash, and they are not going to be letting up this aggression here, but now unfortunately getting the wipeout. Burning those specials, I think, a little bit early, knowing that they weren't going to quite get the tower to that checkpoint there without them, but unfortunately this map is now turning back into the favor of Caprisun Sippin. Quite yellow that I'm seeing right now here, Pinky, but that tower is going to be moving back down to that first checkpoint once again and almost on to the second. The Tacticooler is out with the bubble to follow up to keep Keto safe on that tower right now, but with two members of Splash here looking at this tower to try to push them back, Keto unable to back up like they were hoping for, and the Trizuka coming out a little bit too late.
Yeah, and here comes the Kraken trying to hunt for that tower as well in mid. Gets the pick on the Dynamo, looking for the mini, gets popped, it runs it a little too soon, and the mini is able to get the pick, but that was a pretty solid push from Caprisun Sippin, but not quite what they needed. Down to 46, they needed down to 32, and Flash is doing everything in their power to stop it, but Caprisun Sippin has some tools at their advantage. They have the bubbler at the ready, and they have 2 minutes of time on the clock, but they have to be smart about it. That bubbler is getting popped here and now, and that's going to almost assure them the lead here. Booyah Bomb is going to be thrown at tower, but it's just the machine alive for Splash here. Caprisun Sippin trying for the second checkpoint. They finally seem into things here. There goes that second checkpoint, and they're going for the knockout here and now.
Oh, so close. Only 12 points to spare on that knockout. You can see the Dynamo player trying to get that Tacticooler out as quick as possible to try to re-up their ink tank, but unfortunately getting taken down, and the members of Caprisun not able to utilize that juice as much as they wanted to, except for being able to respawn back into the map very quickly. But now we have Andy on the tower here, setting up a beacon here, which I think is going to be crucial here for Splash if they can utilize that jump point in if something goes wrong, which I think is going to be really important here, using that rain to try to displace that upper platform area. You have Andy with the Kraken taking down one, almost taking down two on the chase, and now the wipeout happening on the side of Caprisun, and Splash now with this tower and flipping this lead back and going for the KO.
What a reversal on the side of Splash. There's that knockout in their favor. Caprisun Sippin had it all. They had the lead. They were rolling in the deep, but Splash just rebounded beautifully there, brought it all the way back from the brink to get that knockout themselves, and now Splash just one game away from clawing their way out of loser's bracket into grand finals.
Yeah, and Caprisun Sippin had that game kind of in the bag there for a little bit. Getting that lead, I felt like they were maybe feeling pretty confident to try to hold on to it there. But just the special coordination that comes out from Splash when they need it to, it always prevails. It has prevailed time and time again that we've gotten to see here. And they did it right here, and especially with Andy cruising around in that Kraken form to getting one pick and almost going for the second, assisting on the second. Crucial gameplay there for Splash to get them that lead.
Yeah, I mean, just beautiful play all around, and I mean this is the gameplay that's gotten Splash through, I mean, all the way at this point in the tournament, so close to getting that chance for their run back up against Zero Death, but Caprisun also has a score to settle with them, and they're going to try their best to make this reverse 3-0 happen here. The set is definitely not over yet, but Splash has a hefty advantage here, especially with counter picks on the table, but Caprisun Sippin is going to try and get that reset going as they pick the mode of Splat Zones here.
Yeah, and going into splat zones, especially if they pick splat zones, these are the maps that they are allowed to pick from, which all interesting contenders. I'm kind of giggling to myself at Mahi Mahi Resort, though, sitting comfortable there in the splat zone area.
That's an interesting one. You don't see it every day.
But to our knowledge, though, it would seem that Mahi Mahi Resort and Flounder Heights are banned from the Splat Zones counterpick. So the choices are Michael Mart or Hagglefish for Splat Zones for what Caprisun is going to pick.
Yeah, those are definitely the more competitive choices. I'd be more inclined to say between Mako and Hagglefish, but I don't know. There's a lot of pressure on Caprisun here because not only do they have to win this game, they'll have to win both of Splash's counterpicks if they want to win the set. It seems like they're going to be selecting Hagglefish. I'd imagine they would want to choose a comp with more range at their advantage. So we might be seeing, some fun stuff come out. There's also double Zipcaster on the table for them if they choose to go with that route. So a good amount of options for both of these teams here as we go to Game 3 on Zone's Hagglefish.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. I definitely think they want to go for range here, and especially with having these two heavy flanking areas down at the market, you want to be able to have the range to call out, but you also want to have the aggressor to be able to meet that call out, to match that call out. And so seeing what Caprisun is going to have to pick for their choice here is going to be super interesting. And I'm seeing here we're still going with that Dynamo comp, Pinky.
Yeah, the range Dynamo comp is going to stay for Caprisun. Sippin. Splash seems absolutely content with the comp they have, and I mean, who wouldn't be? That's a very strong comp at the ready here as we go to Game 3, Zone's Hagglefish, and this is the last chance for Caprisun Sippin to really show their stuff here because they're down 0-2. They have to win this game if they want a chance to keep playing in this tournament. This zone is already being contested hotly. Andy, with that Kraken, is going to force a jump out here to reset the team fight to 3 versus 3, and right now, Caprisun Sippin has controlled that zone, but it is somewhat fleeting just because of how much paint is being thrown onto the zone already.
Yeah, and coming in with that Booyah Bomb to try to contest the zone for themselves. They still have 96 points on the boards with no penalty quite yet, and we're going to go ahead and take that zone back with Wavebreaker and Tacticooler, though, being out on the side of Caprisun, getting juiced up, and the wipeout happening for Splash. This is Caprisun's time to not only take that zone, but to get that ink on the ground and to push forward and to hold the members of Splash back into their base.
Yeah, this is Caprisun's chance to really lock out Splash. They have the numbers advantage right now up against Splash, and I mean, at this point, Splash knows that they have to approach the zone right now, and they're starting with these team fights. Caprisun goes 2 dead. Splash has that Kraken at the ready being popped. Booyah Bomb comes into the zone, and that's going to be Caprisun Sippin's push and end at 55. And Splash just moved up so quickly out of getting any advantage, but they moved up a little bit too quickly, I think, because they go 2 down pretty quickly. And right now, Caprisun Sippin is trying to fight back here, trying to poke with that Range Blaster a little bit as the members of Splash respawn.
And just getting pretty confident with popping that Tacticooler onto the side of Splash there. Kind of just out in the middle of the zone right there, but you have Zoyo now taking down the Range Blaster, getting an excellent pick. The T-Tech now also goes down there, and you only have the Dynamo and the Zinc Splatling up, but you have Splash still just taking away at that penalty, and there goes the lead with all members of Splash being pushed in front of the zone and the rain coming out as well to try to push the members of Caprisun to one side or the other, and it looks like most of them are opting for that right side, but now with the rain being cast, you can see them up on that tent area trying to see if they can get some ink down.
Yeah, and Zoya with the mini Splatling just knows how great paint it has, and Splash only has to hold the zone for a little bit longer. 19 points on the board. It's 2 versus 2. It's 1 versus 2 right now in the zone. The roller goes down though. That's gonna be the wipeout in favor of Caprisun. Sippin stops the push of Splash at 12, but Caprisun has an absolute mountain to climb to get this lead back. They have to get through that penalty, which they're about halfway through, and then they have to get another 44 points on the board, and that's going to start really soon here.
Yeah, Caprisun's not going out of this round without a fight. They are proving time and time again in this match that they are here and they want to stay. Now with that penalty being gone, we're down to 40 seconds. Those last-ditch efforts are now also kicking in for folks if last-ditch effort is being played here as well. So a lot of inking abilities coming out to play here. Andy with the Kraken now trying to cause some havoc here on the side of Caprisun Sippin, but not quite finding the pick they were looking for. Caprisun Sippin, although getting the penalty back on their side, they are going to keep this zone still in their favor now in a 2v2 situation, and Dynamo has that tactical already, but they are going to wait for their teammates to try to spawn back in here.
Yeah, Caprisun Sippin has a great push going down to 21, and they're still pushing it with that delayed wipe on Splash, and Splash running out of time here. They have to, you know, be smart about how they move to the zone, but they have to get there all the same. The roller just respawns, so their Kraken is not going to be available for the push. Booyah and Stamp are going to be thrown. Finds the pick on the Zuka, but Caprisun Sippin is out of that penalty. They have to hold down a little bit longer for this lead. 12-11 is the lead. They're going for knockout right now, but they have the lead. Most importantly, with a minute left, Caprisun still has control of the zone. It's at 4 points right now. They just have to hold it a little bit longer. 2 versus 2 in zone. This is for the knockout. It's just the Range Blaster all alone. I think that can paint the zone by itself. It gets a pick. It gets 2 picks, but it's not enough to hold the zone in favor of Caprisun Sippin. Flash has a second chance at life, but they're already 3 dead.
Oh my gosh, the gameplay coming from that Dynamo to try to take the fight over to the side of Splash in that zone was something else. And not only that, but Pigeon with the Rain Blaster just holding on for life, getting a pick and almost getting to paint the zone single-handedly as well, giving Caprisun enough time to get back into this map and to just hold on for dear life. A second chance at life, Pinky, like you said. With 26 seconds left on this board, Caprisun Sippin is still holding on tight.
Still holding on so tight, and Splash at this point is just getting staggered right now. They have no control of the area in front of their plat. It's all painted blue in favor of Caprisun Sippin, and there is 10 seconds left in the match timer. Machine gets a desperate pick on the mini, but goes down. 2 dead on the side of Splash. Roller goes down 2-1, and Caprisun Sippin on the board here.
They are still in this fight, Pinky, and they proved it here on Splat Zone's Hagglefish. Holy moly. That the back and forth that we got to see in this game was quite a sight to see, and especially with these, like, such unconventional comps. I loved seeing the matchup with the Dynamo and the Range Blaster. You were so right about that, bestie. You were so right about that the Blaster and Dynamo was going to be such an interesting pick, and it was here.
I mean, it was definitely an interesting pick, but it was only interesting because of how well Caprisun Sippin was able to play around it and play around the strengths of both of those weapons, because Range Blaster and Dynamo have a whole host of weaknesses to compensate for, and Caprisun Sippin just did that beautifully. Finally got themselves on the board, and Splash now has to make their own counter pick, but this is where things get scary for Caprisun Sippin, because now they have to win on 2 of Splash's counter picks back to back if they want to advance to grand finals.
Definitely the pressure is on for Caprisun Sippin, and the pressure's kind of on for Splash here because Caprisun Sippin really brought them quite a fight in that last game, and I think Splash was maybe feeling pretty confident, and Caprisun Sippin now being able to take a win off of them is definitely something to be smiling about if you're on the team of Caprisun.
Yeah, absolutely. That win was crucial. Get some momentum back in their favor. Finally able to put a halt to all the momentum that Splash has been building up over the past 4 sets now. And I mean, now Caprisun Sippin has a little bit of life left in them, ready to just, I mean, make some magic happen for the rest of the set.
Yeah, absolutely. And now with having having a counter pick coming out. Now with Clam Blitz, we have Clam Blitz coming out for the counter pick from Splash. And with our Clam Blitz maps that we are allowed to pick from, we have Museum, Inkblot, Brinewater, and Manta Maria that are allowed to be picked in this counter picking session. But remember, 2 of those maps are going to be banned, and so there is only 2 to be picked from. And Brinewater and Museum are the ones that are going to be banned in this Clam Blitz counter pick. So the only 2 maps that are allowed to be picked from are between Inkblot Art Academy and Manta Maria.
And Inkblot does seem to be the choice for Splash here. They seem to be very comfortable on this map, and to be honest, their comp quite excels on Inkblot here with, I mean, with Jet Sculpture just able to hold down such long ranges, Mini just being so mobile and able to cover so much area with just how well it's able to fire, Machine taking advantage of all the angles present and hitting over the plats and stuff, and of course, Roller, you got beacons everywhere, you got Krakens, what's not to love?
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, Pinky, but doesn't Splash have to counterpick their comp here? So the Jet mini comp that they were gonna have,
I believe they can still use the same one. I'm not.
Okay.
Yeah. It's free choice. Okay. So they can still run it back with their comp because I mean clearly the comp has been working for them. They won the first 2 games pretty handedly using that comp. So I'd imagine it's gonna stay.
I was gonna say if they had to get bumped off of that comp, then I feel Splash might actually be was gonna maybe be in trouble there a little bit if they had to switch off the comp that's been working for them. But who's to say, because the Inkblot Art Academy has been an excellent map pick for them.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much anything can happen here, but Splash definitely trying to steal the set away at 4-1. Caprisun Sippin staying with the same comp, Splash staying with the same comp. Here we go into game 4. If Splash wins this, they take the set. This is crucial here. This is for the dub.
Yeah, we need to see another pigeon holding it down gameplay here on this Clan Blitz match with that range blaster. Hopefully with some good follow-up from their teammates, but Pigeon's actually going to go down pretty quickly here, and so is the Mini as well going down pretty quickly here. 2 down situation here with Splash having enough clams to try to make a power clam here, and you have Zoyo and Andy moving up onto the plat of Caprisun Sippin right away with not enough clams to try to make that pop here, but Andy cornering the Dynamo there and trying to get the pick, but unfortunately going down.
I'll be honest, that Dynamo was dead to rights. That Dynamo got completely checkmated by the entirety of Splash and was somehow not only able to win, but run over Andy on the roller. So, great stuff to that Dynamo roller. We're back in this neutral here, but Splash has a lot of this mid-area pain. It's going to make things hard for Caprisun Sippin, especially because Dynamo and Range Blaster are really reliant on paint to function here, and this Dynamo is just trying to make something happen on this left stack area. Is able to get a pick. That's 2 down on the side of Splash, and Caprisun Sippin starting to push forward a little bit, has a few more hurdles to go before they can get to that basket.
Yeah, and you could see Andy there with an excellent shark. The Dynamo was looking for them, kind of knew that somebody was there, but Andy being able to back off at the right moment to give themselves enough space and enough clearance. But we have Caprisun Sippin here going to go ahead and make the first basket pop with enough to follow up as well, but all 3 members getting pushed off of that platform pretty quickly there. You can see I2 and Alex holding on to the bats area and getting Ink down into the platform area and preventing that push from going any further at the 68.
Yeah, I mean, 68 is still a decent enough push. I mean, at least they broke the basket, but more importantly, Caprisun Sippin still putting a lot of pressure on the plat, and there's a big bubbler on the enemy plat right now. 2 dead on the side of Splash. Caprisun Sippin starting to push forward a little bit. Range Blaster's giving the pressure, but now the numbers advantage starting to fall out of their favor here. So Caprisun Sippin forced to back off a little bit, give Splash a little bit more room to breathe and reset, but Caprisun Sippin has definitely been in control for the majority of this game, but now numbers advantage handily in favor of Splash. What are they going to make out of this?
Yeah, the confidence coming out from Caprisun Sippin in this game is incredible. I mean, you could see Keto moving up onto that platform with no fear in their eyes whatsoever to try to take themselves into a 1v3 or a 1v2 situation there, and taking a lot of attention off of objective. And not only that, but they're doing a pretty good job of trying to hold on to clams as best as possible. Splash having the clam economy advantage at this moment, and especially with the power clam in their possession. But you still have that Zinni having a special online, and you can see that all members of Caprisun Sippin now with 1 going down are just holding the mid game super strong. But as I say that, 3 members of Caprisun Sippin go down, and you have Splash now moving back into the mid.
Yeah, there's been a lot of deaths happening in this game, but not a lot of scores happening. We're 3 minutes in, and only 32 points have been scored on the board, and those are all scored by Caprisun Sippin. And Splash kind of running out of time here. They love to end the set at 3-1, but they're really struggling to make a push come together. That Jet is going to go down with the power clam. Zoyo is going to be forced to pick it up, throw back to a teammate that already has some clams, and right now Splash does not have a ton of clams at the ready here at 11. They have enough resources to get this lead, but they just have to string it all together and make that long journey to that other plat, so it's going to be difficult to see what they can make of this.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate to be in the position that Splash is in right now, because Caprisun knows that they need to come to us. And there we go, Pigeon getting an excellent pick off of the Stamp player, trying to corner the last member of Splash there, and getting the wipeout and following up with the power clam and clams to spare. That bubble by Keto is going to get popped for some extra protection there. The Dynamo able to get pretty comfortable in that plat area, getting a few more clams into that basket. 3 more in Pigeon's possession here to try to hold that basket open, but unfortunately, I don't think they're able to get close enough, and that push is going to stop at the 40 mark. Caprisun holding on to this lead with 50 seconds left.
Yeah, at this point, Caprisun Sippin does not have to push anymore. down at 40 points. Splash has not scored a single point right now. They've had opportunities, but not been able to string it together. This Machine trying to find his pick on the Dynamo, but the Dynamo is going to retreat to the platform here, and Splash running out of time here. Only 30 seconds left in the main game until we get into some overtime action, and even now, Splash has no advantage right now. They have specials at the ready. They have the Booyah and the Kraken, and they really have to make it count here. 20 seconds left in the main game right now, and the Kraken goes down. The roller is dead. There's not gonna be any Kraken in this push. Splash is running out of resources here and running out of time. They're too dead right now. Caprisun and Sippin just cannot be stopped right now.
Yeah, the flanking power that Pigeon had there on the left side, taking the attention away from objective there and forcing two members to try to 2v1 them to try to get them out. But this is Splash's moment here. We have a power clam in possession of Andy, who is in Kraken form right now with a power clam to follow up behind them. Alex jumping in and making the pop here. Splash now getting their points on the board here, but three members down though, and I2 being the only one left alive, trying to form a power clam and get it in there, but unfortunately getting taken out in the jumps, not being able to come in on time. Caprisun, Sippin taking us into a game 5. They are still in it, Pinky.
Staff, we are going to a game 5 here in losers finals between Caprisun, Sippin, and Splash. I don't know what it is about losers finals. I feel like the best set of every tournament is losers finals these days. It's kind of ridiculous at this point.
Yeah, I gotta say, the Caprisun, something that was so impressive in this last game that they were doing is they were taking the attention of Splash away from the objective, and they kept doing it over and over again. You had Pigeon on the flank coming in with that blaster and kind of being like, hey, look at me, I'm over here, not only getting a pick, but forcing the backline to shift their attention. And you had them completely taking two members away from looking at objective. You had Andy do it a couple times in that Kraken form. And then, like I said, you had Pigeon as well, taking the attention away from the backline of the objective. And I think that is going to be very crucial for Splash going into this final counter pick. They need to be able to recognize that Caprisun Sippin is trying to take their attention away from the objective as they are able to chip away.
Yeah, this is so precarious for Splash. What was a 2-0 lead is now a tied deficit. Splash has not won either of the last two games, and Caprisun and Sippin has been making this awkward comp work beautifully. The Rage and Dynamo combo is just so difficult for Splash to deal with right now, and I mean, they've been looking stumped in these last few games, unable to really make something come together, and Caprisun and Sippin has been profiting off of that. And this is kind of do or die for Splash here. They've made this great losers run, but they're not quite at the end of it. And both of these teams are just so close to getting that chance at the rematch with Zero Death all the way up in Grants, and that chance to get the run back. But they have to get through each other first, and they're both taking each other to the absolute brink here.
Well, Splash is seeing that what worked for them in the beginning. We went with Rainmaker, Scorch Gorge, and we're going to take that into round 5 here. Splash on their counter pick is going to be picking Rainmaker, and the map list that we have for Rainmaker that we are allowed to choose from here is going to be between Scorch Gorge, Eeltail, Museum, and Manta Maria. But remember, folks, 2 of these maps are going to be banned. So Scorch and Museum are going to be banned in these Rainmaker picks. So the only 2 maps that we are allowed to pick from here are going to be between Manta Maria and Eeltail Alley.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. I feel like Manta Maria and Eeltail Alley are both pretty awkward in terms of Rainmaker maps just in general. Manta, you know, is nerfed in Splatoon 2. That block is gone, which means that whole left side route is so much harder to access. You can do that with a checkpoint jump. At this point, most of the best pushes in Rainmaker are either through mid or through the right checkpoint. So, I mean, it's all just kind of funneled into that area. And as for Eeltail, it's always been a bit of an awkward map just because of how, you know, thin and, I mean, it's a thin spaghetti noodle of a map. It's just very easy to move, like, I don't even know how to put it. It's just a giant hallway pretty much, which just makes it so awkward to get any kind of solid Rainmaker push going.
Well, exactly. You either have to pick either a more 1v1 focused map, which I would argue that that's what Eeltail Alley is, especially when you get onto that first left checkpoint and trying to utilize the space that you have around that first left checkpoint. You're putting yourself into a 1v1 situation, who can be the better aggressor, versus Manta Maria, where you have a lot of these high points. You have a lot of high points and higher ground to be taken, and especially if you have a really strong backline like we've been seeing from I2 on Splash, that can be really crucial for them, and that can be really beneficial for them to try to utilize the high ground. And That's what we got to try to make note of here, is who can utilize the high ground better, and that could even be said for the Dynamo as well. The Dynamo being able to take the higher ground on Manta Maria. If we're going to see that still coming out on the side of Caprisun Sippin too, then that's also going to be crucial.
Sorry for the technical difficulties here. We are, it seems as though Splash is currently trying to find a sub, but while that's going on, we do have some other, activities here on the stream for all of the Zoomers that have no attention span. We do have Subway Surfers and Family Guy funny moments because, I mean, when you are a Zoomer, what else is there to keep yourself entertained?
Oh my gosh, I found myself getting sucked into Subway Surfer when I was mid-analysis there, and I was like, crucial, Subway Surfer is crucial, Pinky.
Crucial. I mean, hey, we're trying to entrance people in, the wonderful horrors of whatever the stream is going to quickly devolve into.
And I feel like with that, could we take a little bit of a break? We can go ahead and watch Elemental try to fight Baby Jelly here.
Saf, what's your table surf knowledge at? Because I'll be honest, I have next to none.
It's okay. I'm kind of I want to collect them all type of thing with these cards right now. So I don't know. I want to see L try to beat Baby Jelly though. I'm interested in what he's gonna do. Oh, the Steel Eel coming out from the side of L here. Crucial play, Pinky.
Absolutely massive opening here for Elemental with that Steel Eel already trying to infiltrate into the enemy territory right here with playing Fry the Eel deal right there. And I mean, right now Baby Jelly's looking a little bit lost here, and it seems that Elemental's trying to set up that containment unit, but Baby Jelly able to fight their way through here. 9 turns left here. It's still very early game, but Elemental off to a pretty strong start.
Oh yeah, crucial ground being taken by that blob. The Zapfish coming out for Baby Jelly, but not quite. Trapping a lot of squares up into that top right corner here. But we have L now also coming in with the Maws here and giving themselves a lot of space to try to maintain a lot of squares here. 7 turns left, and now we have, what is that, the leader? Yeah, then we have the E-leader coming out at the bottom, and once again getting a plus 13, getting these double-digit plus numbers for L.
Yeah, I mean, right now, Elemental has pretty dominant control of the board here, but not a lot of specials built up. Meanwhile, Baby Jelly been very diligent with these specials, has 2 at the ready here any time right now, but this game is starting to wind down a little bit. There's just 5 turns left. There's a court case being settled in Family Guy. Thanks for watching, actually. Never mind. Family Guy is over, but this game versus Baby Jelly still rages on.
Oh my gosh. 3 turns left now, but L has a pretty solid 11-point lead here with the 96 Gal coming out, but there's a lot of special on the side of Baby Jelly. Special attack, Splat Charger going in for the horizontal there and getting a few more points on that board, but Elemental still having the lead here, an 11-point lead, and this next one with the Splatana Stamper is going to take them into the +6, and Baby Jelly unable to make a move here right now. But Elemental's not going to let that hold him back. He's going to go ahead and launch this Dynamo Roller onto this map right now and try to get a few more points in with the special attack.
And that is going to seal the deal. Elemental up 1-0 versus Baby Jelly, redeeming himself a little bit from their last, altercation on the Under Pressure Twitch channel. But this is not over yet. Never mind, it is over yet. We're choosing to not keep playing, and I guess we're getting back to the video game, I think?
Oh, that's right. We're playing competitive Splatoon here today. We're not playing cards. Pinky, what are you talking about?
I was never talking about cards. What are you talking about?
I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm talking about counter-picking Rainmaker in Game 5 of Losers Finals here with Splash and Caprisun Sippin, okay?
I mean, hey, we're going to a Game 5 here in this tight, competitive Losers Final set between Caprisun Sippin and Splash. I mean, both these teams have been bringing each other to the brink to the point where Splash has been forced to call in some reinforcements with a substitution, but Caprisun Sippin trying to just stand there undeterred in the wake of anything that's happening. Both these teams, once again, fighting for that chance to make that appearance in Grands.
Yeah, and this is a crucial win to be had here, especially because these teams tied it up. Splash was coming in strong into this round, taking the first 2 games by storm. But then Caprisun Sippin finally getting their footing in Game 3 and then taking an excellent Game 4 and not really allowing Splash to get any points on the board, hardly, until really late in the game in Game 4. And so we're here at Game 5, and we always love being able to go to a Game 5, and we're counter-picking Rainmaker, and we can only pick between two maps. We have between Manta Maria or Eeltail Alley, two very difficult and Rainmaker maps to try to pick from those of you that are maybe just tuning in, or maybe coming back from a little bit of a break and need to know what's going on here. I'm hoping for Manta Maria. I'll be honest, I haven't seen Manta Maria with the new changes yet that have been made in Splatoon 3 on Rainmaker, so I'm interested in Manta Maria.
Yeah, Manta Maria is definitely, in my opinion, a little more interesting. It feels a little more fresh, even though we had, like, what, 5 years on it. It feels more fresh because we've already been complaining about Eeltail Alley for like 6 months now.
Yeah, absolutely. We're all kind of tired of Eeltail Alley. We're tired of the linear map picks, and we want to get back into more sustenance with the non-linear map picks. So I'm also hoping for Manta. That's also reason number 2 that I want Manta Maria.
I mean, hey, a lot of reasons to love Manta Maria. Reason number 3, it's a boat. Who doesn't love boats? It's
Absolutely. Set and setting, Pinky. It's about set and setting.
It's about the setting and beautiful. I could not have said it better myself.
Actually, with the fish, we're fishing on Manta Maria too. It would be just so fitting to have Rainmaker because you want to take control of the fish on the ship.
Yeah, exactly. You want to have the fish on your side to make sure the ship doesn't capsize, because that would just be an absolute catastrophe for Inklings and Octolings around the world.
Yes, is that their version of the Titanic if the Manta Maria crashes?
Honestly, it might be. I feel like that's not a bad way of putting it, because there are lifeboats on Manta that you can, get access to with the espresso cannons from spawn. So maybe that's their version. Who knows? I mean, I'm definitely interested to see an adaptation that's maybe poorly done.
I'm sure it's in the works, and it's going to be coming out pretty soon here. But going into Rainmaker, Pinky. Oh! Do my eyes deceive me? We made a pick, and it's actually going to be Eeltail Alley. Splash is going to be picking Eeltail Alley Rainmaker as their final counter pick here into Losers Finals. So again, like we were saying before, what I believe is so crucial about this is trying to maintain that space around that first checkpoint on the left side, Pinky. I mean, that is where all the firefights happen, and especially having the slicks area there, that is where the backline really needs to try to utilize the slicks area to try to tunnel members of the opposing team into a place where they're able to take them out. Yeah,
I mean, just in general, Eeltail is one of those Rainmaker maps that actually has, a reasonable decision between the two checkpoints. You either go for, the fast, easy checkpoint break on the left side, or you go for this extended push on the right. And both of these teams definitely have the resources to make an extended push going. Both of them have a Kraken comp at their side. Both of them have reasonable amounts of specials. I mean, the juice from the Dynamo might make it big here for Caprisun Sippin, but here we go into Game 5 of Losers Finals. Caprisun Sippin staying with that range and Dynamo comp. Splash is going to be sticking with their same comp. They've been rocking the whole set. Let's get into it.
Yeah, and we do have a sub coming out from the side of Splash as well. We have Marty coming in, taking the place of I2 on that custom Jet Squelcher. So we have a backline change up, but we still have the same backline coming out here. Splash is going to go ahead and make the initial pop here, but it's still going to be in the neutral game because you want to get a couple members down on the opposite teams to try to make a push and make an effective push and feel like you're going to safely move that Rainmaker as best as possible.
Exactly, Saf, because that bridge is just such a chokehold that's so hard to, push through. Not a lot of options to move while attacking, and that Kraken's going to drop right onto that range blaster on defense, just showing all the options you have from that bridge. Andy on this Kraken trying to find another pick, is he able to get it on the splatter shot, goes down to the Dynamo roller, but able to divert enough attention away from the Rainmaker, but that Rainmaker is going to get stopped at 72. Caprisun Sippin Caprisun Sippin not quite able to get a strong push going.
Yeah, but Caprisun Sippin, you have the Dynamo player getting a nice double pick there off on the Rainmaker. Not only that, but also just getting some chip damage down on another member of Splash as well, preventing their push from going any further than the 72 mark. They were really close to trying to get that checkpoint, but they were able to shut them down pretty quickly here. But now we have Caprisun Sippin once again making this pop here. You have Andy trying to come up on the catwalk and trying to look for a pick, but unfortunately going down. The bubble now being popped and the lead now being taken by Caprisun.
Yeah, Caprisun Sippin has that lead and has that checkpoint broken, and that Range Blaster is still in the area, but, I mean, Range can't really pop a Rainmaker shield by itself. Needs a teammate assist. That Rainmaker is going to be popped, but the machine has enough time to get around. Range Blaster contesting it. Rainmaker's being picked up once again, gets some points onto that Slick at the 30-point mark for Caprisun Sippin. Pretty solid push, especially within the first 2 minutes, but not as solid as you can get on the Eul's Alley. Generally, getting it around the 22-point mark is good enough. So Splash definitely still has some leeway and has about 3 minutes to make a great push of their own.
Yeah, but with Splash right now, it was just like in that last game, Pinky. Splash has to come to Caprisun. Caprisun is sitting at a pretty comfortable lead at the 30 mark, and so they're the ones that need to come to them with the aggression, and so Caprisun has the advantage right now with that. But as I say that, 3 members of Caprisun go down, and now we have Splash. Marty almost getting the pop on that first checkpoint there, but unfortunately going down. But enough ink on the side of Splash in order to still follow up and get that checkpoint broken.
Yeah, Splash is able to get that checkpoint, and that Rainmaker's popped. They're holding forward right now. They're close. They get it to 28. They get the lead from Caprisun Sippin, just barely, just setting that goalpost a little bit farther, and now Caprisun Sippin has to make that response, and that mid area is painted so purple for Splash. They are ready to anticipate this counter push from Caprisun Sippin, and they only have a little over 2 minutes to make this happen. What a great lead flip from Splash there.
Yo, when I say calculated risk, you just saw it happening live here on Under Pressure. Oh my gosh, not only having 3 members trying to push the Slicks with that Rainmaker, but they only had a few points to spare, and that little jump that they were able to get with a 2-point lead. Calculated risk, Pinky, and that is what Splash was willing to take, and it is what they accomplished here. But now we have Caprisun Sippin on the response time. You have Wavebreaker out. I also heard the Tacticooler come out, and we also have that Trizuka online and ready to go for when Titus wants to use it here. But Splash bringing forth a lot of aggression here, not really allowing Caprisun Sippin a lot of space to try to pick up this Rainmaker right now. But we're going to go ahead and pick it up anyway. We have the Rain now coming out with a lot of chip damage being done onto that Rainmaker currently, with 1 member of Caprisun Sippin going down. But in response, 1 member of Splash going down as well. But it looks like Splash is going to go ahead and kind of hold themselves back. They are also trying to play the long game here and say, hey, you know what? You guys need to come to us. And you have Andy here on the Shark, waiting to just try to get that 1 member, but also the Rainmaker as well, but getting chip damage, but just not quite getting the kill.
Yeah, and right now Caprisun Sippin is starting to run out of time a little bit. That Rainmaker's going to get taken out. Zimmy is able to get the double here. Keto getting that nice double kill. But they don't have a lot of time to play with, around 40 seconds. But the Zimmy gets the pick on the roller. Rainmaker's running forward. They don't go over the fast path on the Slick, but they're still able to get the lead all the same at 23. Caprisun Sippin is still there, still ready to go. Gets it down to 6 points with 23 seconds left on the clock, and Splash is running out of time right now. Now they have to get it all the way down to 5, and they have just the 60-second Rainmaker timer to do it, and Caprisun Sippin is still in their spawn right now, still putting on so much pressure. What a play in the 11th hour of this match, and now Splash has a mountain to climb to get this win.
And I say calculated risk. I'm saying calculated risk. They decided to not go onto the Slicks, and they took the chance of breaking away to that right ramp side, which is very risky. Both entrance points are super risky, but they knew that once that they were able to get up onto that ramp area, they just needed a few more points, and then they were not only that, but they were able to follow it up and get it down to the 6 mark, leaving Splash to basically have to win the game in order to win the game. You know what I'm saying? And wow.
That was a reverse 3-0 from Caprisun Sippin there, locking their ticket into Grand Finals. Splash had such a great run, only losing to places 1 and 2, but it's going to end versus Caprisun Sippin. And now Caprisun Sippin gets their chance for the run back up against Zero Death in Grand Finals with that beautiful, beautiful reverse 3-0 to send them there. Unbelievable set we just witnessed.
Yeah, the momentum coming from Caprisun Sippin is immense, Pinky. I mean, Splash had it in the bag for those first 2 games. Like, that was difficult to come back from, I feel. But then once Caprisun and Sippin found their footing in that 3rd game, and in Splat Zone's Hagglefish, and especially because that Zones game was such a flip-flop through the whole thing. The zone kept flipping back and forth, and once they were able to find themselves there and take that win, it was just smooth sailing from there, coming into Clamblitz and bringing the aggression on Clamblitz and just taking away the objective from Splash, taking their eyes off the objective into Clamblitz, and then now going into Rainmaker. And Splash definitely had a solid lead there for a minute or 2, but then Caprisun, both teams taking extreme calculated risks given the circumstances, and Caprisun coming out on top. Congratulations, Caprisun.
Yeah, but the job is not over for Caprisun and Sippin yet. We're going to go to a short break, and when we come back, we will be back with grand finals action to see who's going to take it all. See you guys in a bit, because you don't want to miss what comes next. Hello everyone and welcome back to Under Pressure Armoury. This time we are here for Grand Finals. I am Pinky, joined here by Saf, and we're going to be getting right into it. A run back of winners finals between Zero Deaths and Caprisun Sippin. Saf, how you feeling about this?
You know, Pinky, I'm excited because as the name implies, Zero Deaths. Zero Deaths is coming into these finals with no games being lost. They're coming in here undefeated, and they're fighting. They are having a rematch with Caprisun Sippin, and we got to see an awesome set by Caprisun Sippin, an awesome reverse sweep by them in the losers finals, and now we get to see them come back here in this grand finals with our first map mode combo being on Clam Blitz, Museum de Alfonsino. And now listen, Pinky, this time we have 4 comps. Both teams, Alpha and Bravo, have 4 comps that they get to pick from here. 4 comps that they get to pick from. That's 8 total that we get to see here coming out in this grand finals area. And I'm flabbergasted by one of them. One of the comp picks here that we have for Alpha Team, folks, is not only a Wiper, a Splatana Wiper, but it's a Splatana Stamper with the Neo Splash-O-Manic to follow up. And what's that 4th one I'm seeing on the horizon? Oh, it's the Splatbrella.
I mean, look, if you think about it, it's balanced by it being effectively a 3v4, but Bravo also has some spicy comps at the ready. We have the Dark Tetra Release Splash-O-Matic and double Zap 89 for that double chump dump action on Bravo side. So, I mean, they can play very aggressively here, but Zero... Yeah.
I didn't read that correctly the first time?
Yeah. There's a lot of heat in these comps. I mean, a lot of possibilities can happen here. 4 comps for each team. To read off some of the other comps in Alpha, we got Flinkted, Dual Sculptors, Inkbrush, Squeezer, Carbon Deco, Zap 89, Splash Bamboo. That's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, yeah.
Also, we have Firevin, Zimmy, T-Tech, and L3D. So, Alpha has some fun comps, but I'd imagine the double Splatana comp with the double Tri-Strikes is going to be a favorite.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that one, but looking over at the Bravo comps here, with Bravo 1, you have the Heavy Splatling, Neo Splash, 52 Gal, and the Nautilus coming out for that one, a double Splatling comp. We have double Wiper, sure, Pinky, but we also have double Splatling coming into the mix here. And with that second one, we have Tri-Slosher Nouveau, Splattershot, the Custom Junior, and the Rapid Blaster. And below that, you have, like you said before, the double chump action with the Dark Tetra Splash-O-Matic. And number 4 coming in hot with Bravo 4 is E-Liter Scope, Splattershot Junior, Squeezer, and the Slosher. So, spicy compositions to come out from Alpha and Bravo, but the matter of what's going to match up with what, I think, is going to be really interesting.
I mean, yeah, but that's going to further extend to this team matchups. I mean, obviously, Zero Deaths has a bit of a stacked roster. I feel like there's some very easily recognizable names. Phoenix, Isabel, Storm, Toya. I mean, like, it's top to bottom stacked. And I mean, they did not drop a game to get here, clearly, but Caprisun Sippin has had a great run of their own. While they were in winners, they did not drop a single game other than getting reversed, or other than getting 3-0'd by Zero Deaths. And then they pulled off a nice reverse 3-0 in losers finals. So they have a little bit of momentum, a little bit of wind in their sails, and they have a lot of great options for comps here, and also a good amount of options for counter picks. So Caprisun Sippin definitely has a chance to make this reset happen here in Grands.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it here, and especially with the gameplay that Caprisun Sippin brought out for us in that last losers finals bracket that we got to watch them in. They reverse swept in the last one, and it was really incredible to watch them do it and to watch them gain their footing, and just so much momentum, I think, going back into this rematch with Zero Deaths. I'm really interested to see if they are going to change the tides here, and especially with the comps that they're going to have at their disposal, if they're going to be able to maybe take a couple of wins here today.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot that can happen here, a good amount at stake. This is, I mean, the last set of the tournament, potentially. This is for the dub, and I mean, here comes the announcement of it, and we're just going to be getting right into things here, into the thick of it. Grand finals between Zero Deaths and Caprisun Sippin starting on Clams Museum. We see double Splatana from Zero Deaths and the double Splatling comp coming out from Caprisun Sippin.
I'm excited for this Zero Deaths. This double wiper has so much aggression in its sails here, coming out quickly. There's already 2 members of Zero Deaths in mid, ready to fight. You can see Isabel over on that right side there. The Stamper getting taken out pretty quickly, unfortunately, but the Tri-Strike is going to try to follow up and provide Isabel some coverage there so that they're able to provide some pressure onto that mid area. But both wipers going down together, hand in hand, by Titus on Caprisun here, and the zone, or the clams are still not being taken here. I thought we were playing zones for a second, Pinky.
I mean, I'm just going to tell you straight up, Zero Deaths is going to hold forward and they're not going to hold back, because you have double Splatana here. Both of them are phenomenal full QR weapons. Isabel experienced with the Tetras, of course, but I mean, it's just going to be an aggressive bloodbath, but right now it seems to be going in the favor of Caprisun Sippin here. They have some clams at the ready. It's just the Heavy, though. Heavy's able to break the basket by themselves, but that push is probably going to be stopped at 80 points, so nothing more for Caprisun Sippin, but still able to break that basket. But I mean, Zero Deaths is quick on this retake of mid here, already just swarming into the enemy plat here and getting a great chance for another push.
Wow, I'm like shaking in my boots right now, Pinky, watching these 2 wipers kind of do a dance with each other, a tango, if you will, on this plat area. And not only that, but it takes 3 to tango, apparently, because you also have the Splatbrella up there as well, providing them some coverage. They were able to get a power clam formed, but unfortunately were unable to push forward because Caprisun Sippin are bringing their defense into this game.
Yeah, here comes the Stamper getting a nice trade against, I believe, the 52 gal there. And I mean, that pretty much every trade that Zero Deaths is going to get is going to be in their favor, because they have, I mean, 2 Splatanas that I'm assuming are running full QR, because that's just what's most optimal to run on them right now. It actually seems the Stamper is opting for a comeback Haunt build instead of some quick respawn, but they might have a few subs of it here, and obviously that Wiper as well is going to be full QR. So it's going to be interesting, but as of now, Zero Deaths does not have any points on the board right now. For 2 minutes, they've kind of been getting shut out, but this Zipcaster from the Stamper is going to try and change that for them here.
Oh, and I thought that the Zipcaster was going to get taken out there, but they were able to make a crafty escape. But unfortunately, having their jump spot being camped out by Pigeon. Pigeon's going to go ahead and take them out here and moving their way up through mid to try to throw that wall out and to provide some pressure onto the platform of Zero Deaths. But you're absolutely right, Pinky. Zero Deaths has been unable to really find a foothold here. Their aggression is strong, though, because we've seen time and time again that both Wipers and Storm are able to make their way up onto this platform, throw the Tri-Strikes out to try to clear that basket area, and now we're going to finally see a pop happen from Zero Deaths here with another pick to follow up.
Yeah, but they don't have that lead just yet. They're 1 clam away, but they have no clams to their name. The Viper's going to get a few. There's that lead finally in the favor of Zero Deaths. Isabel getting a few there with that clutch. And, I mean, Isabel still going to be patrolling this area on the plat. Viper's just so good at fighting, but Storm is going to have the shield broken. That's going to lead to Isabel going down. Storm also going to go down quickly to that 52 gal. And Caprisun Sippin has a chance to start to move forward again, but, I mean, Zero Deaths does have the lead right now, but it's by a very slim margin. If Zero Deaths or if Caprisun Sippin breaks open that basket once again, the lead will be back in their favor. So very contentious game 1 already.
Yeah, and this has been a pretty low-scoring game for right now. We still have a minute and a half left, but now, as I say that, Zero Deaths is able to get 1 more power clam, and they're 3 members down on the side of Caprisun Sippin, and we're still just trying to keep that basket open as best as possible. You can see Storm up there getting some clams thrown to them, but unfortunately just a little bit too late with that basket closing at the 64 mark. But Zero Deaths is not going to let that deter them any longer as the jump-in from the Splatana Stamper comes in with that power clam in their possession, and they're going to go ahead and make this pop again. I
mean, Zero Deaths is just playing like zombies right now. Clearly their name is a joke because they're dying a lot, because that's just the playstyle. That's just the playstyle that works best for them. And Isabel wreaking havoc. How do you even get up? How do you let the other team get up there in that spot? And there's jumps happening. Power Glim's going to come in. And the Stamper able to get that 1 shot with the direct hit, and that score is now at 11 points for Zero Deaths. In just the blink of an eye, not too long ago, it was stuck at, I believe, 74, and now it's at 8 right now in Caprisun Sippin. What was a doable game is now looking extremely, extremely dicey for them.
Right away, Pinky, if you can see that right now, we have 16 clams in possession of Zero Deaths. It's like as soon as they are wiped, softly wiped, or even just 2 down, they are able to pick up those clams as quickly as they are dying right now. And maybe that's just the clam spawns being in their favor at this moment, but they have excellent control of mid. Caprisun Sippin now with 10 clams in their pockets, make that 8 clams in their pockets, trying to find themselves a pathway here back onto the platform of Zero Deaths to try to get that basket pop. We are in overtime now, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody in between. We have a power clam in possession for Caprisun Sippin right now, but just no pathway to try to make any headway here.
Look at all the paint on the map. It's entirely purple, or it's entirely yellow. There's no purple paint to get to that basket. It's just going to be stalled out here. And yeah, that Stamper is going to be taken out, that heavy, which is the ball carry. And Zero Deaths authoritatively taking game 1 and further extending their win streak here.
The amount of ink coverage that they had, I'm just like blown away by that. The amount of ink that was in mid for a lot of that game by Zero Deaths, and not only that, but allowing themselves the space to pop the basket back to back is just incredible. And then Isabel? What are they doing up so high on that perch there with the Nautilus there? What are they doing up there? How did they get up there so craftily and sneakily? I mean, what is going on in the voice chat of Zero Deaths right now?
I mean, look, you can never, ever, 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 ever let a Tetris main cook, because as soon as they start cooking, you're screwed. You lose the game then and there. It's literally that simple.
They certainly were cooking in this one, Fakey, because providing them another jump spot to get another power clam into the basket was exactly what they needed, and it got them the win. It got them the win. It got them down to the 8 and allowed them so much time and space to make sure that the members of Caprisun Sippin could not get into that platform area. And especially with the aggression that they were having with both of the wipers coming hand in hand, I mean, that was something to be reckoned with for sure.
Absolutely, just a giant force of nature from Zero Deaths there in Caprisun Sippin. I mean, that was just a very abrupt beating, because they hadn't played for a while. Then they had that intense Game 5 set in losers, and now they're back against Zero Deaths, who sent them there, and they just could not find the pieces to come together in Game 1, and they're being very methodical with this counterpicking Game 2. They're going to select Power Control as the mode. They have 4 maps to choose from, 2 which are going to be banned by Zero Deaths. But yeah, we see the maps here. The ban options are Hagglefish, Inkblot, Sturgeon, and Mako Mart. All very solid tower control maps, but Splatoon players are somewhat infamously known for being very comfortable on TC Inkblot. So, I mean, that could be the play here. I mean, to either ban or select. A lot at play here, but Zero Deaths still looking very comfortable so far in the set.
Yeah, I definitely think that Caprisun would be smart to pick Inkblot here, especially because as we've seen before, that definitely seems to be a very comfortable map for them. But it's possible that Zero Deaths could be very keen on that and say, hey, you know what? We don't want to give them any foot room to try to make any progress here, so banning Inkblot could be what they decide to do here, which I would not blame them for, Pinky. I would not blame them for that at all, because it would be smart on their part. I
mean, yeah, Zero Deaths is definitely a strong team. I'd imagine that they're going to be making a lot of smart decisions. They've been making great decisions in-game. They probably know how to make strong counter picks out of the game to just set themselves up for even more success, because, I mean, again, this cannot be said enough. Zero Deaths has not dropped a game this entire tournament. Through, I believe, 6 rounds of winners and now 1 game of grands, which is absolutely ridiculous. And, I mean, saying you won a tournament without a dropped a game, it's just an incredible feat, so I'd imagine Zero Deaths really going for that.
Yeah, they're definitely coming into this. They're ready to go, and they know what to expect coming out from... Oh, excuse me, I thought I was about to sneeze here. They know what to expect coming out of Caprisun Sippin here into this next one, and it's exactly as we said, Pinky. They're going to be banning Inkblot and Hagglefish Market, so those are 2 maps that are not allowed to be picked here into this counter pick. So... from our 2 choices, I believe we have Sturgeon Shipyard and Mako Mart on this tower control counter pick that we are seeing coming out from Caprisun. And I think both could be viable picks, and I do think that maybe Sturgeon Shipyard would be the better pick here, especially because we haven't really seen what they were able to do on Mako Mart, but we did get to see them put up an excellent fight on Sturgeon Shipyard.
Yeah, and of course, Caprisun Sippin has a chance to, you know, consider, do they maybe want to change up the comp a little bit? Because, I mean, maybe that E-Leader could serve them well on a map like Sturgeon, or maybe they could just try to out-offense Zero Deaths with the double chump comp. Or, I mean, maybe even just use the abilities of the Tri-Flusher and Rapid Blaster to hit the tower very well if they go with that comp and on a map like Mako. So, a lot of options here for Caprisun, or they're going to seem to select Sturgeon as their counter pick for the map, so now it's just going to be up to them to select their comps to just try and combat the double Splatana power of Zero Deaths.
Yeah, and if they do go with this double Splatana Viper comp for that, what do you... Oh, well, before I can even ask you, why don't we actually just look and see what they're going to pick? We can actually just determine that for ourselves. So the double Viper pick for Zero Deaths is still going to be holding strong here, and we are still going to be seeing that double Splatling pick. I think this could actually be really beneficial for them, not only because you have the Rain on the Nautilus to try to control a little bit of area, but you also have Keto on that heavy Splatling as well, using the Wave Breaker potentially on the tower to try to maintain some space and to try to track the members of Zero Deaths to try to keep them away. But right off the gate, Zero Deaths has Tri-Strike at their possession coming out, and you see a pick going down on the side of the Viper, make that 2 picks, taking Titus down as well, but then now finally going down to Keto.
Yeah, I mean, that was a pretty good start there, but now Caprisun Sippin has the numbers advantage here. Trying to get the pick on that hammer, not quite able to get the 4 shots needed, and the Viper's able to stay alive a little bit longer, and that's going to let the Stamper move forward a little bit. Zero Deaths still pushing this tower a little by a little. I said, it's kind of stuck at 94 here, not quite able to get good footing, but now tower starting to move forward once again. More points are getting on the board, and Zero Deaths moving in quickly. Here come the Tri-Strikes. Heavy does get the pick on the Stamper, though. Both Spatanas are down, and that's probably going to be the push stuffed for now from Zero Deaths.
Yeah, and now we can see the wipeout has now occurred on the side of Zero Deaths, so Caprisun Sippin, I believe, needs to try to utilize this wipeout as much as possible. If they are able to get as many points on the board as they can here, they can probably utilize the range that they have, especially with that heavy Splatling, to try to pull the members of Zero Deaths towards them, because once again, once you get a really good lead for yourself, you have to come to them, and that tower was stuck at the tide mark at the 71, but unfortunately with the Tri-Strikes coming out, Caprisun Sippin was unable to push forward any further.
Just barely, and all that map control is gone. Zero Deaths just painting this map blue, and I mean they have that Brella on the tower storm. It's going to be that tower rider, as Zero Deaths is probably going to go for that second chance of breaking that checkpoint, and Storm is relatively close to having strikes at the ready. Neosplash is going to pop them, Toyo is going to pop them, but Storm goes down pretty quickly to Pigeon on the 52 gal, and Zero Deaths not quite able to break this checkpoint just yet. Tower's going to move a little further back. The Viper and Stamper are both down though. Storm just jumping back in, but Caprisun Sippin pushing back aggressively. They are not out of this yet.
Yeah, and you can see they're getting a really good pick as one member of Zero Deaths was trying to make their way into Fight Club. You have Storm here now trying to contest with the 52 gal and getting out of the way of that Killer Whale and finding themselves now in Fight Club and taking, and with Titus trying to take the fight to them, they lose the lead here though, especially now with 2 members' attention being taken away from the objective here. But now the tower is sitting at 61 comfortably for Caprisun.
Yeah, Caprisun was able to break that first checkpoint though, and that can be pretty difficult to do. Zero Deaths has not been able to do that themselves. And right now, Caprisun Sippin kind of sitting pretty here. That tower's moving towards that second checkpoint, and they're starting to win these teamfights, starting to figure out Zero Deaths, but Zero Deaths not going to take that lying down. Has some numbers advantage right now. Pigeon trying to move this tower alone. Gets the pick on the Stamper, popping the Whale on the Viper, trying to just stay alive as long as possible, be as much of a nuisance as possible, but they are going to go down. It looks like Caprisun Sippin's push is going to stop at 35 points.
I loved seeing that gameplay come out from Pigeon. That tower was kind of in stasis for a bit. It was about to start moving backwards, and Pigeon jumped on it briefly for a moment, launched their Killer Whale to try to give themselves a little bit of time to move around and figure out their next plan, and kept the tower there for as long as they possibly could. They held it there for a few seconds to make sure, like, hey, maybe we can keep this push going, so I'm going to try to keep this tower here, which is just an excellent play in my opinion. I love seeing that kind of gameplay coming out on tower control here. But now we have Storm back on the tower here. We have another member on the tower to kind of try to give them some coverage and give them defense. You have Isabel trying to pair up with Storm and trying to take out this Nautilus, and they are successful at doing it now with Keto trying to get on the tower. Now 3 members down on Caprisun Sippin as on a delayed wipe. You have them, Zero Deaths now reversing the lead, and Isabel just flipping around with that stamp there to try to maintain that tower in their control.
Yeah, and now Zero Deaths is going for this knockout here. The tower stalled at 13, but they're 2 dead right now. I don't think they can get any more points on the board. 3 dead. This Splash is just trying to run away for their life, but it's going to get taken down. The jumps gets camped, and that's going to be the wipeout on Zero Deaths. But Caprisun Sippin does not have any more time to play around. 45 seconds left. Caprisun Sippin has to break that second checkpoint in its entirety and get it down to 12. If they want to win this game, and winning this game would be absolutely massive for them, they can't afford to give Zero Deaths any more chances as we head to the final 30 seconds.
And as you can see on that response time there, with all of Caprisun Sippin going back in that mid area, they had all 4 specials online. It was do or die with this push right here, and they got the tower almost a little bit past where that first checkpoint is, but unfortunately now the tower is going to go back into mid and back into Zero Death's favor here. But now you can see that you have Storm and you have this Splatono, or the Stamper now trying to work together in that Zipcaster form to try to pin Pigeon into that left side area, but unfortunately Pigeon is able to actually escape, and that pick is not going to be made for them. Now going into overtime, Caprisun Sippin trying to hold on to this tower. You can see Isabel trying to climb on top as quickly as possible, getting one pick but getting taken down themselves, and now Storm and the Splatana Stamper getting on top of that tower and taking the win. I was a little nervous there for a second, Pinky. There was quite a firefight happening on that tower, and I thought that maybe, just maybe, Caprisun Sippin was going to go ahead and get those picks and get that tower moving again.
But Zero Deaths just could not be stopped. That was an incredibly close game for most of it. Zero Deaths was on the back foot for quite a long time, but they were able to bring it back all the way from the brink, and their win streak continues on through this grand final. I'm doing the math right now. I'm doing the calculations. That's a 13-game win streak, and they're 1 game away from taking the tournament, and Caprisun Sippin is out of time. They have to find a response now.
Yeah, it's do or die here in this round 3, but you know what? It seems like this is where Caprisun Sippin maybe thrives best, because as we saw last time, they were able to reverse sweep and to take themselves into this grand finals. So maybe this counter pick of round 3 is exactly where they need to be. This is where they want Zero Deaths to be, to try to fight them here, and to try to take all that momentum that they gained and put it into this game right here for this counter pick.
Yeah, I mean, it all comes down to this. This is the final frontier for Caprisun Sippin. They are so tremendously down right now. They're down 0-2 in the game count. They're down in losers bracket as well. They still have to win 3 games just to reset the bracket, not even to win the tournament. Zero Deaths, though, just trying to absolutely seal it away, say that we are the best team of the day, go 14-0, and just post about it on Twitter and say no one can stop us. Not even these goofy comps can stop us. So a lot on the line here for both these teams. Zero Deaths really just wants to wrap it away. Caprisun Sippin trying to show they still have a fighting chance.
And I'm curious to know, I bet Zero Deaths is probably going to be sticking with this double wiper comp. And so Caprisun Sippin, are we going to make a change up here from the double splatling comp? I mean, they definitely had a pretty good fighting chance in that last tower control game that we got to watch here. So the double splatling was working out for them, and it has been working out for them. But I'm curious to see if maybe if they want to try to do or die in this final potentially final game, knocking them out here, if they want to try to make a change.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they have to change up this momentum a little bit here, because, I mean, it's not been in their favor whatsoever. They're going to try and do so on Splat Zones as the mode. Zero Deaths gets the chance to ban 2 stages before Caprisun Sippin can make their counter pick here, but it's going to come down to the wire here for this game 3, because that game 2 was intensely close, and Caprisun Sippin probably going to try and come back and take this game. They've been getting a little bit closer with each passing game. Now it's their last chance to do it.
And for Splat Zones here, Pinky, we have between Hagglefish Market, Mahi Mahi Resort, Mako Mart, and Flounder Heights. But the 2 that are going to be banned are Hagglefish and Flounder. So our 2 zones maps here that we are able to pick from are going to be between Mahi Mahi and Mako Mart, which, I mean, I feel that we know what the obvious choice is going to be, but I've been wrong before, Pinky.
we've been betrayed by the counter picks before, but I mean, you know what? Maybe we do need to relax at a resort for game 3. Maybe that's what we need. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe we need
that's
to
what we're gonna do.
Oh my gosh! Okay, we're gonna take a vacation into this round 3, going into Splat Zones, Mahi Mahi Resort. We don't need to go shopping for groceries at Mako Mart anymore, Pinky. We're just gonna go on vacation. We're gonna say, throw caution to the wind, and we're gonna take ourselves on a nice, relaxing vacation down to Mahi Mahi Resort here.
Nice, relaxing vacation on this final frontier. Double Splatling versus double Splatana. Zero Deaths versus Caprisun Sippin. And let's see who can do it here. This is for the tournament.
For all the marbles in the jar. And right away, Zero Deaths is making their presence known on this map, but as soon as I say that, Caprisun Sippin's gonna say, hey, you know what? Not for the first few seconds, you're not. We're gonna go ahead and take the zone, but now the zone gets flipped back into Zero Death's favor. I'm just gonna call it now here, Pinky. I think this is gonna be a very flip-floppy zones game.
You know what? Yes, because that's how Mahi goes. That's quite simply how Mahi goes, with Zero Deaths not leaving anything up to chance right now, has a pretty firm hold on the zone, down past 70-point marks, but they're starting to go down a little bit. It's just Isabel in no man's land on this island here, and that's going to be Caprisun Sippin taking that zone for themselves. Heavy trying to find a pick on this Wiper, but all of a sudden, Caprisun Sippin are 2 down themselves, and Zero Deaths has the ability to get that zone right back for themselves.
Zero Deaths was just mirroring what Caprisun Sippin was doing in that last loser's bracket. They were taking the attention away from the objective of Caprisun Sippin. You had Keto trying to take Isabel out. You also had Pigeon trying to fight with Isabel as well, as they were sitting over there in no man's land, and that gave them so much time. It gave Zero Deaths so much time onto this zone counter, and now with 50 seconds left onto the zone counter, and we still have so much time left in this game right now, Pinky.
Yeah, there's still over 3.5 minutes left, but already this water is dropping because of just how strong Zero Death's control has been. But now, this is where the Mahi lockouts begin, because you have to drop to get into the zone, and that is so easy to camp, and that's what Caprisun Sippin is going to try and vie for, because this is kind of their last chance to do it. They're getting close to that lead, but the 52 goes down early, the Wiper goes down, it's a 3 versus 3 in the zones, Tri-Strikes come out, but Zero Deaths is able to get that penalty. 3 dead on the side of Caprisun Sippin, and Zero Deaths gets that cap for good, and they're starting to start that lockout on their own. Titus trying to hide here on this island. Stamper tries to find him. Titus is going to drop, try and join this team fight, and try to just get some sort of picks to allow the teammates back in, because Caprisun Sippin is on the back foot right now.
Yeah, Caprisun Sippin is doing a really good job of trying to get back into that mid. I think Titus was doing a good job of trying to wait for the right moment to get out, but unfortunately, I think Zero Deaths was just quicker on the draw and not allowing them to get the pick on them. But now with Zero Deaths taking down their penalty, last-ditch effort is now coming into play here, folks, so all of those extra abilities are going to really count here. But 10 seconds left now for Zero Deaths. Caprisun Sippin needs to get back into this map, but Zero Deaths is not going to let it happen. Zero Deaths, you are next Armoury champions here with 0 losses, bringing them into the finals.
Zero deaths, 0 losses, 0 questions, and they are your Under Pressure Armoury championships with authority today, not dropping a single game, 14-0. Caprisun Sippin had a valiant run, had a great losers final set, but got 6-0'd by Zero Deaths, and that's going to end the tournament in their favor. What a beautiful day of gameplay for Zero Deaths here.
Yeah, wow. They came out to that last zones map just with fire under their butts to say that this is do or die. This is how we're going to win it on this counter pick here. And they got the lockout that they needed, and they were playing the aggressors for the entirety of that match. And that was truly incredible here. Desperate times call for desperate measures, quoted by Keto here for Mahi Mahi Resort Zones. We took these teams on vacation, but only one came out as the actual winners of the full vacation package, and that was Zero Deaths. Congratulations, Zero Deaths.
Yeah, not quite a vacation package to PAX, unfortunately, but still your tournament champions nonetheless. And I mean, absolutely beautiful play to get here. Well deserved, well earned, but unfortunately, that is going to conclude Under Pressure Armoury. Once again, congrats to Zero Deaths for taking the whole thing. But before we go, I gotta ask, Saf, where can the wonderful people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Safirea. That's 2 P's, 2 A's, at Safirea on Twitter. Or you can find me on Twitch as well, in the Twitchverse, kind of roaming around at twitch.tv/Safirea. Or you can find me on the Splatoon Tourney channel tonight, commentating for the CCA Week 4 matches. And Pinky, where can the good people of the Twitchverse, Splatoonverse, of the universe, where can my friends out there find you?
Well, you guys can usually find me on Twitter at BrokenPiggy_. You guys can also find me on various Twitch channels of my friends. And I mean, also, you can also see me occasionally on Splatoon Tourney. I won't be there tonight, but just go and follow Splatoon Tourney on Twitch. It's worth it. Just do it. It's an awesome channel. But with that being said, thank you all so much for watching. Another huge congrats to Zero Deaths. That's going to be all from us here at Under Pressure Armoury. signing off. Have a great one, guys.